This is
And we're live. So, welcome to session number 106, or as it is, Phase 3, Season 1, Episode 17. The characters are currently in the Grand Duchy of Karamikos, while it still exists. No omens there at all whatsoever. And they are looking to investigate the giants before the giants decide to flatten most of the area. As, well, giants don't really have to abide by rules when the people don't come past their knees. Very hard to convince a bunch of them to do what you want otherwise. And with that in mind, at the table today we have Gary.
Hello everyone, I'm Gary. I'm playing Anton, the Treladaran warlock, whose secrets everybody seems to know. And is not keen on the idea of taking a raft up the river, High Reach River, but looks like it's been outvoted on that score.
Yeah, unfortunately. But you got a dragon with you, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Flying or boating, you know, I much prefer walking or riding in Drazzle's cart.
Well, what if you were in Drazzle's cart on the boat?
There's still a boat. There's still a raft. It was a raft, I thought it was. A raft underneath.
But hey, the halfling boat system is well known.
Are we expecting people?
Ross.
Oh, Ross.
We have
Awesome.
a Ross.
I was going to say,
So
should
we might
we
need to
move
pull the table back a
just
little bit.
slightly this
Yeah.
way? Watch
As
out
there is
for
a
the-
spare table at the end. A spare chair at the other side.
I can move around
There
a
we
bit.
go. I was going to say I can move around a bit too.
So, we're then up to Ariadna.
Whoa, wait a minute, sorry. You didn't say the right name again. One name I'm going to teach you. So, we are...
Sorry,
is the
I'm
camera in the right
looking-
spot?
Move around.
Well, you got the cameras there.
Okay, cool. So, we are Carpix, the white dragon with the jazz wings, riding her Tyrannosaurus Rex mount, who in the game is actually light blue with dark blue stripes.
Oh,
But-
so it's not sparkly.
This is its Christmas adornment. She is with her... Is Eep with her at the moment?
Eep is with her at the
Okay,
moment.
so she's with her companion Eep, who appears like a little pitcher plant, and makes the mostly very cute comment of Eep and speaks in Eeps and can often be seen eating cookies or drinking coffee.
Does it steal stuff?
No, she doesn't. She mostly eats cookies and drinks coffee. I believe the stealing is Prushka.
Proshka. No,
Proshka.
Proshka likes to overhear gossip.
Ah, right, yes. So, well, there you go. You've got a gossip mongerer. But that's okay. Everyone likes a little bit of gossip. My other companion, Grindelwolf Brewmaster, is currently managing my home realm, and the people there who are developing a special kind of coffee plant that will allow those who drink the coffee to heal a bit. And the idea is that when we go back to war with the Master, every morning they'll be able to heal up with their morning cup of joe. It's cute.
Yes. A tiny T-Rex. I
Tiny
see.
T-Rex. Well, it looks like a T-Rex head with legs and a tiny tail.
Baby T-Rex.
I'm going to say, exactly what is it now that I'm distracted by it? Does it hold dice?
No. It's just a cute
Just-
little
just a
thing.
cute little
I
companion?
think it should be a stand-in for Chocobo.
Okay, awesome. Oh, I see. Well, we better put this on camera for Emmy to see. This is Chocobo's stand-in.
Not that anyone will be able to see it easily while she's distracted.
Yeah, but at least it'll be on camera and give her a reason to watch the start of the
Okay.
video.
So,
This is
next
really
person
cool.
at the table today we have is Ross, who just arrived.
Yes, I play Yodri, the swashbuckling pirate, no longer Nenny. And with his silent, brooding imp called Blizzard, who's always invisible, sitting on his shoulder. Currently, he's happy that he's now be able to sail a vessel.
I was going to say, this is the episode for you.
But it's on the river, so no sea monsters. It'd be just river monsters.
I don't know. We've got a very interesting GM.
No. It'd be river monsters, not sea monsters, because we're not on the sea.
We might be able to do some piracy though.
Yeah.
Let's see. The only thing we can do piracy is other halflings. No.
That's right. It's all
They
halfling boaters,
they
isn't
might
it?
Yeah,
want to-
the halflings have got the monopoly over here.
Yeah, that's right.
It's true that if it's not halfling, it gets pirated.
Is there such a thing though as friendly piracy games?
Yeah, but we don't have the time.
No,
Those last
well,
for
we've
weeks
got a
to
week
months.
to-
It's called
yeah.
drinking.
Yeah. Drinking. Perfect.
Yeah, it's they drink then drive. That's why it takes them so long.
And then someone gets the bright side like, hey, I bet you can't steal this. And you never hear the end of it.
Yes, I'm sure you'd make many a joke about stealing from the giant.
I don't think there's anything worthwhile stealing from that.
Well, maybe the halflings have already been there.
Look easy.
Remember, we learned last time that they've got some. We think they may have some sort of heirloom, which might be what's bringing them together.
Yeah, let's see.
An artifact,
a
yeah.
giant with an heirloom. It's going to probably be the size of a house.
Okay, so online today we have Izzy.
Hey, I'm playing Samir, the Rainbow Angel, who's been a little absentee, so just gonna have to play catch up and figure out what's going on.
That's okay. Last session, before you left, they headed to Karamikos to deal with the giants. They spent last session in Karamikos trying to get to the giants.
Okay.
They moved from, if I bring the map up for you to have a look at. So, where is my mouse? Here's my mouse. Can you see the city of Calvin?
I can, yep.
And see that little road that goes all the way out to Penhaligon?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you missed last session.
Okay, so not much. Cool, got it.
So.
I thought you'd appreciate that very quick recap for what happened. Unless anyone else wants to
I was going to say,
add
was
extra details.
last session the
We got
18th of
drunk.
19th of January?
It was
right.
on the 19th of January.
So we
correct?
went to Kelvin in Karamikos on our way up to the mountains.
I remember that Lady Penhaligon was
Yes,
able
that's
to
right.
actually.
I'm just skipping through. Yes, that's right. We were greeted by the Lady Penhaligon, who, and we were greeted with that image of their walls and everything suffering significant damage. Obviously, the giants had, and
The
a lot of
easiest
their
target.
warriors were showing like the wear and tear of having been in this prolonged, drawn out
Yeah,
attack.
and they have paladins riding griffins who seem to be actually good people for once.
Yeah, so one of the big things was they were saying they don't want them to advance. And we were asked by Redrin to investigate what is happening, why have they gathered, congregating, who's organising them, why, where are the storm giants who used to control them as representatives of the dragons. They seem to have regained their magical abilities using a giant portal system which has been out of use for
Long time.
thousands of years. Why are they here? And then there's the mention of the artifact, and whether there's someone who has an agenda who's controlling that artifact. I cast Legend Lore and got access to 4-book giant set, which told us that the more hill giants there are, the smarter they become. As they collect, they gain a collective intelligence. And combined with their strength, it makes them a very formidable army. And it was my... is the Great One my father or my brother?
Brother.
Brother. My brother's task to keep them apart, except for some reason he's not doing that job anymore. I think it's because he's become a god now. Yep, that's why. It's the only community of giants, storm giants, that has existed before the dragons has disappeared, And we thought, well, maybe if we can find that place where the storm giants were, we might be able to bring storm giants in to help, and we might be able to use the portal. But the main plan was we need to at least go and do some reconnaissance. And for that, we ended up deciding on having the halflings build us a boat raft that would carry all of us. And because I'm a dragon and I've got multicolours on me, the hill giants might accept me as some kind of authority, which might allow us to find out as much information as we can before we make plans on what else to do. At the end of the session, Cheval was going to commune with the other paladins to mark a holiday.
No, that's right, yeah.
Anton was scouting with the patrols east of the Castellian River, possibly Yodri too. Zal may take part in the Paladin holiday because it's an Ethengarian tradition and she's Ethengarian. At the very end of the session, there was a letter from Calcrix to Thala, basically talking about some of her adventures on the Isle of Dread and the accidental and slaughter don't belong in the same sentence, but the accidental slaughter of the parents and only existing members of a species there, and how she was despairing that all she seems to do is to be able to destroy and kill things, when what she actually wants to do is become someone who understands more cultures and be more diplomatic before she does all the smashy. And Zal reminded Calcrix that even though we make these mistakes, there are ways that you can make reparation. And that's more about a character development type thing rather than a story thing. Does that cover everything?
It does cover most of the things.
Yeah, I was going on a scouting mission because I didn't want to be in the town during the holy day thing.
Yeah.
That was just a detail though.
Yeah, I was going to
we didn't
continue
want to
my
step on
research.
or break any laws that we're not aware of. Bloody fanatics.
I kind of wanted to stay close by and do my research, but not... I want to be close enough that if something goes mad with the paladins, I can help. And far enough that I don't have to quite be involved with what the paladins are up to. So I'm probably going to stay in that library and keep researching.
So which
my
characters
books.
go scouting?
Oh, we're just going to accompany the patrols of the soldiers from Penhaligon.
And how about Yodri? Is Yodri going to stick around for the Day of Law?
Day of no drinking? No.
No, it's not a day of no drinking. It's a day of not breaking any laws.
Yeah.
But it's Ethengarian laws, not Karamikian laws.
Yeah.
The other option for you could be that you're going to help with the building of the boat. And the halflings.
Yeah, I'm not that good on the shipbuilding. I'm good at the sailing part.
But you get to hang with the halflings and drink.
The problem is I'm still in the city type area.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Did you want to do the scouting and basically take the time along with the river?
And
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay,
So-
what about Samir? Is Samir going to stay in town and be subject to the rules of Ethengar for the day?
You can hide in the library with me with the coffee and the cookies.
So I'd say that being subjected to the rules of that, I think after the day is supremely boring.
Well, the big issue with the thing is if you break one of their rules, they're required to execute you on the spot.
Calcriss just want to quickly check. Is drinking coffee, eating cookies, and researching in the library against any of their laws?
Can be.
Not on the Day of Law.
Okay, well, as long as it's not against any of their laws, yeah, copious amounts of cookies and less copious, but probably almost as much coffee.
Prosker asks
What
if I
was-
can take some of your cookies with us as
Oh, yeah.
supplies.
Yeah, definitely.
She's only getting one a day though.
Yes.
As I say, with knowing Samir's luck, there's every chance she'll accidentally just break a law without trying.
So you're off with the scouting peoples?
I mean, I'm flying around looking for stuff that seems far more up my alley.
Shiny.
Yeah, it is a rather harsh day, but the Ethengarians are a harsh people. So they do like their one day of the year where no one breaks a rule.
Yeah, the problem is if one of the innocents accidentally breaks an innocent rule, Calcrix wants to have the capacity to go, you get to get through the dragon first. While we figure this out. Here's my banishment spell.
Well,
And then I roll a 1.
so we have a bunch of you taking time to scout. You come back the day after the full moon, where the blood moon's up in the sky. Another reason to not travel during that time is magic can be quite intoxicating on that day, leading to it can also cause your brain to burn out.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what sort of magic you use, any form of magic is heightened on the 3 summer full moons.
Another good reason to be reading an awful lot, I think.
Yeah, but if you read something out loud, it's not good if it happens to be a spell.
She used to have to read out loud when she was reading as a young dragon, but now she's a bit older. She can actually read and keep the words in her head.
Unless the action of reading it casts the spell.
As far as I know, these are just books of lore. They're not spell books of any sort.
So it's not bound in human skin.
No, they're just books on giant lore.
Okay, so as the summer festival is the date's definitely gone on the wrong days for those, but hey, summer festival started on the 12th of the month and ended on the 18th of the month. So your mid festival, as they say, the barge is ready for you.
Okay, cool.
To start taking you upstream. You've just got a day's travel out to the fork.
So during that week, can I have replaced my blank books just in case I need to do another legend roll?
Replaced your blank book.
Yeah, I need to have 4 books of some sort. So yeah, I just wanted to double check because
Not that hard to replace there.
yeah, I just was looking at what I expended last time, and I'm keeping in mind that now there are materials I need to keep track of. So
It is the major route between Karamikos and Darakan. So it gets regular merchants along that road.
do I get to have my extra jewelry from Drazzle at this end?
Yep.
Awesome. I am now also, just for the group's visualization, Calcrix now sports a pair of very classy rose-coloured glasses.
Copycat.
And a few extra rings.
Yep, copycat.
Yes.
Are you trying to be as colourful as me?
Yeah. I like shiny and colourful. Eventually I'd like to be covered in gemstones of some sort.
What,
Oh,
get
that's my
mistaken
armor,
to be a
right?
gem dragon?
A little bit of everything, actually, would be nice.
It's actually look. I'm just drab, grey, brown.
Well, put your helm
Black
on, everyone will
scarred.
notice you.
Pardon?
Put your helm on, everyone will notice you.
Yeah, I prefer not to wear the helmet. Unless, it might be appropriate when visiting this mob of giants, though.
Calcrix is so tempted that when you're not looking, not a kick me sign, but like a little gemstone or a diamante on the back of your cloak or something. Just to jazz you up.
And look, if people just think I'm a servant accompanying people, that's fine. Don't draw attention to yourself.
It's actually not a bad tactic.
Yes. We're now going to bedazzle the warlock.
So as we don't have the paladin here, you don't have to worry about what happens on the day.
No.
Probably something terrible.
Or a lot of yelling in our ears.
No, probably someone burning.
The city doesn't burn down there.
Well, I remember there's a little cat dice box there with your name on it. Literally. I forgot to
Thank you.
give it to you.
It's all right.
Okay, so yes, you do spend a day's travel with one of the relief troops heading to the fork, which means there's no creatures in the region who would actually interfere with you.
Well, aren't we accompanied by not just, there's a dragon, there's 3 drakes, there's an axe beak, and what else is there?
About 100 odd
Griffins.
troops.
Oh, okay, so no one's going to bother us.
Griffins.
Well, if they
halfling,
are, they're incredibly stupid.
Rainbow Knight. Technically Cheval, even if Cheval's in the background for today's game.
Okay, so
Bean
yes.
of Entropy.
You end the night at the fork in the river. You see that they've built a fairly serviceable barge.
Mhm.
It looks like it's designed to be lifted in and out of the river as needed.
Because you wanted to make an impression of the giants, I did want to see if there was like just kind of a little thing that when they actually kind of get up to the giants, Calquix is able to stand at one end of the boat and kind of put her wings out and be very visible. Is that okay to have a part of the construction
Yep.
of the boat looking like that?
It's basically a platform for you to put all your stuff on.
Yeah, well, she just wants to be able to stand there when the giants come so that hopefully they won't throw and roll boulders and the whole bit at them once they see the dragon.
And most of the troops won't go past the fork in the river
Fair enough.
unless there's a reason to head off giants, because it's a lot harder to get back over the Castilian River than it is to cross at the ford.
So that's the
Yeah.
Castellan and the
High Forge, High Reach.
High Reach River.
And they both have different names in Troldaran.
Okay.
So River Volga,
Volaga.
Volaga is the Troldaran name.
Yeah.
So, we've now got a dragon figurehead for the front of the ship.
Occasionally she sits back and then just pulls out a tea. Sips. So we stopped for the night at the Cross
Fork
River?
in the river.
Fork in the River, that's it.
And you believe it's going to take you 2 days to go upriver to reach the edge of the mountains. Mainly because it's going against the current.
And plus, I was a bit quicker on the way back.
And it does mean that
Yeah,
if
we
you need
might
to,
want to rush.
that if you do need to rush backwards, you've now got a platform to do so. The raft that you've got is designed to go either way. It doesn't have to be turned around to go the other way.
I don't think there's much useful I can do while we're on the boat, so I'll be looking out.
Your ballast.
I'm not even sure on much ballast, actually. I've got dragons and drakes and a wagon. It's a lot of weight already.
Yeah, but when the dragon's up the front, you need to be on the back.
I don't think I can balance the dragon.
If there's any like patrol people or people who patrol the area regularly with us on the boat, while we're going up there, Calcrix will literally play like 1,000 questions with them about their experiences with the giants, what they've observed.
You would have done that on the way to camp.
Yeah, and yeah.
They're not following you up.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. She's and she'll be reading her books, trying to get. She's basically crash cram examining for when these giants, because she's very nervous.
It's reminded me, one of the things I wanted to find out was when accompanying the soldiers find out about them and their perspectives and their life on it, but it's probably a bit late.
Well, the company that patrols around that region are mostly Troldaran.
Yeah.
They have signed up because they get perks from the kingdom if they survive their tour of duty.
Okay.
Some of them even get titles.
Okay, so it's a hard life, I take?
Well, it wasn't so hard until the giants went and formed their own settlement. Up until then, it was rather cushy.
Okay.
It was like a 50-50 survival chance up until that point. And they considered that cushy.
Okay.
Which sort of gives you the idea of just how bad things are right now.
Yes, I know. And just reinforces. I'm glad I'm not.
So,
But hey, the Thiatan people have the same chance of advancing, and the army treats them all equally.
Ross Yodri was lamenting missing out on doing the boat. Is there any boat role playing happening right now?
You're being told how to control the boat, even though you know how to do so. The halfling in charge does it in extreme detail to you.
Why are they being so insulting?
Well, he doesn't know him,
Oh, well, I guess so.
and it's his
kind of
job to
fair.
make sure that the boat gets there safely.
Did you make any mistakes?
No, but he went over things multiple times when you seem to eyes glaze over.
Yeah, because I know this already.
And on that note, I will say hello.
I was going to say, we're going to get an Emmy introduction.
We have an introduction.
I am Zal. I play your lovable cleric wizard. Waiting for anyone else to take up Josh's mantle, which...
No, that's only Josh.
He's been gagged.
I get away with it for a week.
You get time off.
I get time off. Yes, we are traveling towards the giants with a retinue of creatures and friends and lots of fun and shenanigans, probably.
Are there more animals than people?
Yep.
Possibly.
Okay.
There's 3 drakes, chocobo.
Well, 4 drakes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Drazzle has a drake.
Drazzle's drake, yeah. Horse. But I always think of Drazzle's drake as horse.
Because he calls it horse.
Yeah, because he calls it horse. And then we've got Chocobo, Artemis, Inferno. Shit, I know almost all the animal
And then
names.
you got the familiars.
Yeah, so yeah, there is definitely probably
So
more
this is
creatures.
so it's like a
than there are-
menagerie. Yeah.
Yeah, we are the walking adopt-a-pet, rescue pet
Okay.
group.
I'm just thinking how the giants going to see that. They're going to see this as a bunch of animals with some humans and others.
How do giants feel towards like various animals?
Snack. Food.
Well, it depends on how people interact with the giants, but most people see hill giants as not thinking beyond eating what they see.
Okay, so it is probably a good idea that before we head up, or maybe before we have left, to have maybe stabled some of the animals rather than having all of the animals. Particularly since we're going up river and it might not be horse country, horses might not be able to get up cliffs and things like that. So instead of saying all of our animals are with us, do we want to actually have stabled the ones that wouldn't be appropriate to the terrain?
And you can leave some with the boat to look after the boat.
Okay, alright, we might do that, as long as we feel they're going to be pretty safe on the boat.
Well, as long as you've got the giants' attention, they should be fairly safe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Although there are a lot of giants.
There are
I know you
a lot
don't
of
generally
I just
hurt
use
animals,
lightning
but
bolts
there's times
and
where you've
little
gone...
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
Do I just need to lightning bolt them so they can all disappear? Wait, do we want the giants? Are they friendly, or do we just want to get rid of them?
We
Can we get rid of
we want them on our side because the other
Before
option
I
is
thought he meant lightning
genocide.
bolt our animals.
We're generally against genocide, so we just want to get them under control.
And so Samir might have quite a few lightning bolts to pull out because we're talking thousands of giants.
I think you just will just piss them off.
I did blow a hole in a mountain with one spell the other day, so you know.
did?
The other
Yeah,
thing you
yeah.
haven't heard, Samir, is that when these giants gather together in large numbers, they become a lot more intelligent. So they may actually have spellcasters amongst them.
Oh, they do.
And
they're
they've got their
shamans.
magic back, yeah. Yep. So these guys, it might take more than a just lightning bolt theory to solve
So
this.
extra lightning bolts. More is what I'm hearing. Undisputable application.
I have a feeling that even though Calcrix hasn't known Samir for very long, she has a very good idea of who Samir is.
Well, there's other things I can do, but when it comes to dealing with problems,
No, I think
There is
I
a
think
tried and
she's still on
tested
the power
solution.
trip from killing like 6 what are they called
Manticores.
again? Manticores.
Yeah.
Are you bragging about killing these manticores, or just is it
That
just
was an accident. I
okay?
ooged them.
Alright. Yeah.
Yeah,
Took me
you
ages to
ooped them
wash
and
that
then
blood out.
giggled. You giggled about your oopsies. You're like, I just obliterated these things into dust.
Yeah, it was
Dust would have been all right, but no, it's not. It's more
Well-
of paste, smear, liquid,
If you consider
charred meat.
Well, I think
Calcrix's
two of them ended up as paste, and 2
Look.
ended up as dust, and then
we were just missing some, 11 herbs and spices, and it would have been a lovely meal.
So the question is, are you guys joking about this in front of Calcrix? Or is this just players joking about the...
I wasn't joking with the fact that it took me ages to clean myself after being in
Yeah.
the area of effect of exploding.
The bit that's probably
manacles.
not clear in all this is Samir didn't realise just how powerful
Yeah.
she'd become,
Yeah.
and it sort of took half a hillside out, which happened to take out some.
I
A
get
few
that
more
side
than-
of things, but I guess if you guys are on the boat joking and laughing about this
But also-
event, Calcrix has just read out a letter to the group the previous game saying how devastated she is by accidentally killing
I know.
the last remaining.
I know.
So her response to the group will actually change quite a bit depending on how you guys are acting in front of her, if that makes sense.
I
Was
will
that because the stars were
Yeah.
right?
It was because she had woken the primal
This is
god.
more out of character banter.
Yeah, that's what I was just checking.
Okay, that's scary.
Paying out Izzy
Because I've got, what was it, death watching me?
I'm okay with the outer thing. I was just checking where we were. Were we actually talking?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
Okay.
No, we were all a little bit in game mortified that our magic went completely out of control.
Control.
Also
yeah.
made it very hard for them to achieve their mission.
Which was to get the manticores.
To pull the quills from the
Cool.
manticores.
Yeah.
Because it was rather specifically worded.
Yeah, I know. It was pedantic.
Because
pedantic.
that group of
Like most
people were
places.
very pedantic. Because they were based on paladins.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why didn't Chauvel pick up on this?
Because Chauvel wanted to join the fire people, not the air people.
I see. Yeah.
Okay.
If the fire people
But
had
Chauvel should have
been...
at least got the pedanticness of the thing.
The fire people were really
On the
reasonable. They
plus
were
side.
fine. They're like some of the water people, but that's bloody air.
And then the
Oh,
earth people...
I was going to say the Earth people, as far as
Oh
I
yeah,
can
okay,
tell.
yeah, I know.
Something like
There's the
chill
areas
touches
for
probably
opposed. They're the
been
nut. They were
boosted.
the nutcases in all this. You know, fire and water, the sensible,
Yeah.
axis.
But hey, they were taught to be the shock troops of a nation. So their philosophies were around, completely around how they performed on the battlefield. And the ones that were least changeable were the ones who were generally in the front line.
Yeah, I never wanted to actually be in a front line. I'm seeing
I'm not a frontline.
Just because
either.
they're not in the front line at the moment, they haven't adapted their philosophy since they moved from the nation that used them that way.
I was going to say, while Yodri's role-playing sailing the boat, I'll check the cat's liver.
Okay, so
in the
yes,
bathroom.
you get to navigate the boat upstream. Let's see if you can do so without error. So you get to make your vehicle watercraft check.
Okay.
Now this would be a very interesting time to roll a natural one and dump everyone in the river.
oh, you're a halfling now. You can re-roll it.
But will he want to?
Oh, it's the other. So is the other halfling here as well, or you
No.
got? Oh, good.
He basically, once he explained it all to you in excruciating detail.
Okay, so I'm just trying to work out water handling. Also, what? So how are we doing that?
Well, there is a proficiency for vehicles called for water, specifically.
Yeah, I've got that, but it doesn't actually state what the.
It adds your proficiency bonus to the check.
Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Yep. So basically, I'll do that. Okay. So where did you roll?
Which was it, int or wisdom for this?
Oh. Okay, so it's 17 plus 2 for wisdom. Plus 19, 23.
Okay, so yes, the first day seems to go without hassle. as you navigate up the river. It is getting harder and harder as you go because the river gets thinner and thinner and shallower. And only a couple of times did you have to lift it around rocks.
Would it help if some of us travelled alongside by the, walked alongside? Would that help?
Possibly, but...
If it gets that narrow, we'll have actually our we'll
You
pull it
would
along.
currently have the drakes helping pull it along the riverfront.
Okay.
But
And I'll be directing the wind to support the ship wherever possible.
it doesn't have sails.
No, it uses sheer strength
Yeah,
And
we're
will-
poling our way
and-
up the river.
and determination.
But you are handed a pole to help. As it is riverboating, not sailing.
Well, with my 8 strength, I'm not contributing much.
Well, you could contribute to losing poles.
Well, I as I said, I'm on watch because I don't think I'm any use and doing anything else.
Yeah, I'm just
I
happy.
feel like my wings would get in the way more than anything else.
Well, you can scout if you want to,
That's probably better.
because they'll see you first before they see us.
Well, that's definitely true, but everyone sees me first. I'm the main one.
Rainbow candy, and it comes in a shell.
I know,
Yep.
shining light went up in the sky with the sun.
Yeah, it doesn't glow, does
Yeah,
it?
look. The rainbow candy might be spicy.
It's
and
multicoloured.
it-
Yeah, but it's not a
May
it's not
result
a
in
reflective
shock.
one. It's just standard multicolored, isn't it? Or is it reflective?
It's crystal.
I've always
Oh,
imagined. I've
it's
always
crystal.
imagined.
I thought
reflective.
it was just standard colours, not crystal.
Crystal gemstone rainbow.
Okay,
armor,
so
and
the-
her hair and wings are rainbow.
Next, drinking that, we're going to tie it to the ceiling and shine torches at it and then spin it around. So we've got a disco ball.
Or just do dancing lights and have them revolve. That way you don't have to move her at all. Because when you cast a spell, you can actually make them spin on the spot.
Yeah, but I don't have that.
I'm sure amongst the group there's at
Yeah.
least one character who has dancing lights as a cantrip.
Yeah, it's me.
I don't think I do anymore. I think I picked-
I don't have it either.
Zal has dancing lights.
So between Zal and Samir, whether or not you can get Samir to then submit to being the
Disco ball party. Yeah. Maybe not.
Oh, here it is. Seasonal cantrip.
Actually, isn't there something that spell that actually makes hypnotic from seeing lights and things like
hypnotic pattern.
that? Yeah.
I'm sure doing that on the rest of the party won't be seen as abuse of power.
No. I think it was that doing on giants.
Except I believe they target humanoids.
Yeah. It's
I
also
thought it-
first
I
level
thought-
spell. It's not really going to do us anything.
Oh, okay.
Some of these spells don't affect giants because they have to affect target creature, not target humanoid.
Well,
Depending on which version of the spell we're looking at.
let's see. Eldritch Blast works on nearly everything. Chill Touch works on nearly everything. Prestidigitation nearly works on everything.
I'm hearing a lot of attacks.
Okay.
No, Prestidigitation isn't an attack.
How many
No,
patterns are
that's
I
30
can
as well?
pull one of the giant's pants down.
So give depends on the weight.
Yeah.
Give me a
Button it.
second day of boating. You pass the first day in flying colours.
Row, row, row. you go.
Okay, I'm slightly getting a little bit more exhausted. This is a 22.
22. Okay, so yes, you do make it up to the end of where the boat can take you before it starts passing up the mountainside too steep to boat.
Yep, from here on we go kayaking. Oh, you can't. I can.
I have wings. Why are we in a boat? Why am I in a boat?
Because you didn't want to be a flying target for big stones.
Because if creatures fly
I don't
through
want to
the
die.
area,
Right? Yep.
they throw really big stones and boulders at them.
They
You
can
missed
technically
the-
throw a rock 10 times your size if you would like to try to dodge that.
You missed the debate about whether we go by air, by river, or by.
I feel like I can dodge that, but I don't know if I want to try.
Yeah, but that's only one. What about
Though
what's-
they also have access to invisibility, which they can use on the stone before they throw it.
Well, that's just rude.
Yeah, so you won't see it until it impacts, correct?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I did say that they were smarter.
Do you want to top up?
Yeah, but that's just
Just
kind
for
of
a little bit
rude.
more. A little bit more.
Well, they've been able to hold off the Karamikian army, which is no small feat.
Hopefully I didn't overfill it.
No, it's fine.
So, you've reached the end of the river point for the night. How would you like to set up your camp while you're here?
I think I've got a lot of, like, lair sense camp type things.
Lessons.
Where I can't be surprised.
You have abilities that stop you from being surprised, I'm sure.
Yes, I know I've got a lot of I can't be snuck up on. But in general, I guess we should set a watch, just also in case. I'm happy to take later in the evening if other people want to get a bit of a sleep in now.
Well, I haven't done much. I don't
So
mind
yeah,
either way. I'll
can I
crack on
go back
watch.
to my trances, or is it still sleep?
Yeah, that's probably because you might...
You've been able to go back to your trances. It only seemed to affect magic and magical abilities for about a week before things settled down.
Okay. Well, I only need 4 hours for the full, so I can help with the watch.
When you poke the primal gods, magic does have a few hiccups while they're in their wake-up phase.
I really need to find a Tali and have a chat.
Do we want to do it in twos or just one person? Do you think is enough?
Pairs is
Pairs
good.
usually
If we're going to
well.
look enough for pairs.
If we've got enough for pairs,
You do have enough
good to
pairs.
keep company.
Yeah.
And then we can, like, Calcrix can learn about the newer people in the group and catch up on what's happening with the older people in the group. If she does 1 or 2 stints. And feed you all healing cookies and coffees. Or hot chocolates.
Caffeine.
Tea.
I feel like Samir and caffeine is a bad combination, but we'll find out.
Wasn't somebody's familiar banned for having cookies?
Yeah, Proshka still tries to
Proshka
sneak a
can't
few.
eat too many cookies.
What is Proshka again? Oh, that's right, the fairy dragon.
Fairy dragon.
Okay,
and,
so basically she's a miniature version of the dragon from the new D&D movie now.
And Chocobo gets the special limited edition coffee that is actually cinnamon milk.
It's special. It's better.
Special. Yeah, the other stuff tastes caca. Alright, so maybe set a watch, and also maybe just do a little bit of
So who's on first watch?
perimeter checking.
I'll go on any of them. I can see in the dark. I don't care.
I have dark vision as well. Who doesn't have dark vision? They should probably go on earlier in the day.
Well,
or
doesn't. So he usually takes first watch.
First watch then.
Because-
So Zal
Well,
seems to
I
be
think I'm
the...
one of the few. I think I'm one of the few. Actually, I don't think Chauvel does either. We usually take first watch.
Yeah, but
yeah.
the thing is, Chauvel basically burns everything, so yeah, that's his night
Yeah.
vision.
So it's
Well,
kind of
I'd
good
like
to
Joel and I
put
just kind of glow in the dark, don't we? So isn't the whole point?
yeah, it's good to put Chauvel on first watch with the person who can't see dark vision, because once it starts getting darker, there's still a source of good light.
So we get a perception roll from Zal. Not from Chauvel, because Chauvel's not here, so...
Yay! Alright. Dice. Oh. Big dice. Big dice. Big dice roll pretty well.
At least there's no Pokeballs involved in this outing.
Well, I wouldn't mind that.
Well, it's just one of my most memorable watches was when we had Pokeballs and then there was sparkly lights up in the distance and there was young, very young
Dragon.
Calcrix at the time, who had a very high distraction floor.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh yeah, you were
That's because I supercharged a Pokeball, remember? And I
you
found out that, yes, sorcerers should not be throwing Pokeballs because
No.
we can supercharge them.
did. Yes.
So what was that, Em?
Oh, sorry. 18.
18. So while you're on watch, you do see what appears to be a blue glow coming from up the mountains as the sun starts to set.
Blue glow.
Do I know what this blue glow is?
Not a clue.
Not a
Give
clue.
me a Arcana check.
Arcana. I'm good at that, so that's alright. Play my Arcana. I didn't roll terrible with that perception, but I only have a +4 on that, so, you know. Hey, that's better. 26.
Looking at it, you believe that there seems to be some sort of runes floating in the air around the mountainside.
Oh dear.
That's not good.
And they're either protective or wards. So
Yeah, I was gonna
could-
say like alert wards or something.
Well, if you were to do it yourself, you wouldn't just alert yourself. You would have it affect the other person if possible.
Yeah.
And it seems that they have got wards floating in the air around them.
Are we near? I'm gonna like have a look like around our surroundings, see if I can see any more. Try and get an idea of how far apart they are, if I can see any more.
Well, they seem to be moving in a slow pattern around a central point, but they are up the mountainside, probably about 4 miles away that you're seeing it from.
So that's pretty close.
It is pretty close.
So does it come any closer to us, or is 4 miles sort of the closest it gets?
No, that's all you notice when you see it. It might take a lot of observing to see it get closer.
I will keep an eye on its progress, and let my watch companion know that we might need to get people moving pretty quickly.
But it does seem to get brighter as the light gets darker.
Yeah, so like we couldn't see it during the day, but it's definitely clear at night.
Yeah, the ancient battles go, yep, let's go and investigate.
Yeah, leave the others sleeping. I'm sure they'll be fine. Yeah, you can't make out what the symbols are at this distance, just that's what you'd expect something like that to be.
Yep. Yeah. Well, if it does start to get closer where I can potentially make out what it could be, I will do another roll for that.
So over your 4-hour shift, it doesn't seem to get closer.
Okay, well that's good. I will let the next set of people know that we are quite close to a glyph ward of sort of unknown. Not unknown origin so much, because I'm pretty sure it's probably from the giants. But unknown of what it actually does. But it hasn't come closer yet, but keep an eye on it.
What makes Samir go next, I think? She's also got eagle sight, so she can see quite far.
Okay. So who's on watch with Samir?
I might as well. I was thinking the middle of the night for me because I'm good at dark.
So how many watches would we need? I think we've got
Generally
enough
3 watches. You generally have enough so each person can get 8 hours.
Yep, so if Anton went with Samir, or Anton went with Yodri, Kalkrits could go with either Samir or Yodri. Do you have a preference? Because we could split it up just for something different.
I don't have a strong preference. I'm just good in the dark. That's all.
Well, considering that I'm a spell person, I wouldn't mind going next if.
Fine, I'll do the morning watch.
So
'cause
You have to accept my cooking, though.
So the 2 warlocks do the morning.
the 2
Warlocks.
Yeah, and you get our cooking.
Yeah. Well,
I'm actually quite good at cooking.
I figure
there you
since
go.
I do know something of glyphs and things like that, I might have some knowledge that might be able to see these things.
Okay, so what does Zal tell the people as you watch over watch?
Basically what I was telling them before, that when the sun started to go down, you could clearly see this glyph. It hasn't appeared to have moved, and I
Hasn't moved
can't.
closer, but it does seem to be moving.
Oh yeah, like it is moving, but it slowly. to keep an eye on it, and I can't tell what type of glyph it is.
Am I
So
right in
if you
picturing
guys,
it that circles the mountain? The glyphs circle the mountain? Is
Well,
that the
they seem
idea?
to be circling a point,
Circling a point.
not the whole
Yeah.
mountains.
so
So it might be
there's
circling
either
a
a
camp.
ward over a settlement, and whether that's a giant settlement, I don't know. Given that we're heading up into the mountains, probably. But if you get a better look at it, then that would be awesome. And if it starts to get closer, wake us all up.
So
fair enough.
I will give Samir and Calcrix a perception roll with advantage, as both of them have some knowledge of this style of construction.
Advantage, you said.
Yep.
Why couldn't that be
Damn, I
like
rolled
100
exactly the
miles
same thing
for
both
familiar?
times. 9 plus.
It's normally a mile.
Yeah, I know. It's not far up. I can't set my familiar up to go. Just have a
So-
sticky beaking. Just
Not great, 19. Because I think Zal got 26 and she couldn't see them up close.
Well,
So-
I got an 18 on my perception. I got a 26 on realizing it was a
Oh,
ward
right, okay.
belief.
Yeah, so I only got one better at 19.
And how
My
about
perception
Samir?
roll was 18, so I'm sorry, I'm doing this over the phone, so it's a
All
bit
good.
harder to go down to my skills.
what a pity disguise self won't make me into a hill giant.
You can make you into a tiny hill giant.
Make me into a dwarf hill
23
giant.
plus 1d.
Is there such a thing?
Well, not quite,
Could you be a
because
baby giant?
you're too small to take on the size of a dwarf.
Alright, so I get to add 1d4 because I have expertise in fast sight.
Yeah.
And so that'll be roll
Oh.
3,
Does
so
that
the
mean I've
base
got
is
plus 1 for
18,
glasses?
21, 26 on perception.
Okay, so between the two of you, you can see the glyphs a lot clearer than Sal. You do have better vision, especially
I also can't have my sight obscured by nature.
especially being able to see over distance because you're both used to flying. Most flying animals can see a lot better in the distance. A lot worse close up, but better in the distance. So you see, clearly see strange runes floating around a glowing settlement below it.
Does any of my capacity to comprehend languages or I think tongues is spoken word.
Tongues is spoken word.
Yeah. Anyway, can I identify the type of gifts or anything like that through Arcana maybe? Or?
You do believe that they are in the giant tongue,
Okay.
which
Yep.
is Jotun.
Yep.
And both of you can give me a Arcana roll based on what you're looking at, and you also both get advantage on that too.
Cool.
So 18. Take the 18. And then Arcana. What's Arcana again?
Usually.
Wisdom?
It can be wisdom, it can be intelligence.
Okay, so I think that's 20.
Intelligence is basically remembering stuff, whereas wisdom is knowing how things work.
16 for me. Even with advantage, I rolled quite poorly.
Yeah, 22, because it's the plus 4, right? From wisdom.
Yep.
Yeah, so 18 plus 4 is 22.
Okay, so
Zal knows more
are
than
you
we do.
proficient with it?
Yes, I'm proficient
Then
with.
you'd add another 4 to it.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's 26.
Oh,
And I might. I'm guessing maybe some of the advantages to. I've got those giant books I've been studying.
Okay, so looking at it, it resembles the Elvish and Dwarven settlement wards
Okay.
designed to stop those not of the people approaching.
Okay.
Normally it can be quite devastating because They are designed to repel, sometimes violently.
So it looks like the Elvish and Dwarvish wards, but it's not Elvish or Dwarvish.
Elvish
it's...
or Dragon wards. You're not used to the Dwarvish wards.
Okay, yeah. Do I get a sense that because the giants do tend to see dragons as an authority, that a dragon approaching them might have better luck than, say, some other race approaching those wards?
Well, they haven't had those wards up for the lifetime of the current dragons.
Okay, alright, so that's...
It would definitely be designed to take a dragon out.
Yeah. So, wards are something we need to avoid at the moment, unless we can figure out a way to...
Eldritch Blast!
Dispel them?
dispel them. Do I have enough knowledge, or Samir has enough knowledge? Can we put together, what we do know to know? Are these the sorts of wards that can be dispelled by the right or the most more powerful enough caster?
From the books that you've read, no.
Right.
Because they're designed around the same premise of the Elven and Dragon ones, which means that their racial relic is powering it.
So don't waste our time figuring out how to get through the wards.
Because it's being
dispelling
powered by
them.
an artifact,
Yeah.
not by a person.
So
God magic.
is there something where if we're invited in, we would actually... Is it kind of like the vampire deal?
He would most likely be on foot because they wouldn't trigger as much on foot as it would by flight.
Okay, alright.
Because
Yeah.
none of their giants can fly.
Okay, alright.
Not
So
easily.
this is a...
And the only flying giants are the ones that have disappeared.
yeah. Is that the storm giants?
Storm giants and cloud giants have also disappeared.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
even know those
basically,
cloud giants.
basically the really intelligent ones.
Alright. So they're nothing to be worried about
Nothing
because
unusual,
they're protecting
but
the
rather
township.
scary.
Yeah. And it also tells us that there's either the artifacts there or an artifact has indeed been used, and that it confirms what we're hearing about the combined intelligence and the magic. Not just that it's there, but it's not just being applied, but it's being applied very effectively and very dangerously. So go gently, or go carefully. That's the word. Go carefully. Since we get to look at the pretty lights, we're on watch.
And yes, you do have some books describing some of the wards.
Yep, I was going to say.
And noting down that part of the reason the dragons disbanded them was they could only put the wards up in groups.
Am I able to see enough of these to make note of them in my journal?
You can.
Yep, cool. I'm going to...
With the help of Samir, you can pretty much make out most of them between the two of them.
Okay, so I will use our time on watch to basically work with Samir to put together, if I can, as complete a copy of the ward that we're seeing.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
What was that? Yep.
Oh, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you saw Sue's message on Facebook. Her toddler's not going to bed, so she's pretty tired, so she might not make it now.
Okay, I can understand that. I just don't look at Facebook while I'm running stuff as much.
It's hard
Yeah, no,
to
that's
know.
why I thought I'd tell you, just so you would know not to continue to expect if her toddler's being quite difficult.
Thank
They
you.
have those sights of nights sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Josh
so,
had that last week with me also.
so yes, morning watch actually goes through rather smoothly, considering you have been paying attention, and you don't think there'll be many threats within sight of those wards.
Yeah, would comprehend languages get a feeling of what type? If it's going to affect like halflings?
It's not really a language.
Okay.
So when
It's just straight sheer power.
It's basically a
So it's not.
warning.
So
it's
when I
it's
wake,
not used in a language as such.
When
So
I-
it doesn't say have like elf.
At the most you get is ward.
when I wake you, I will Samira and I will kind of both let you know it's nothing to be worried about. It's a ward. As long as you don't go crashing in there, you'll be fine. But I'll also let you know that I think it's in some kind of giant Jotun
And
sort of language.
The big
but an
takeaway you
old
get from
one.
comprehend languages is you don't have a frame of reference for half of the words.
Yeah,
Because they're always translated to your frame of reference.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
I've actually got dwarf and draconic.
Yeah.
The other thing that's got me worried is, if I was trying to cause a distraction, that's what I would put up. Because that's bloody obvious. Where's the other stuff?
Yeah, that's the other thing. No, I think if we were going to look for other stuff, we'd wait until we're a lot closer.
I'm just saying it's too bloody obvious. There's a ward saying yes, don't go here, don't go here. If they were being sneaky in that, they would actually hide it. So
They haven't been sneaky for quite a while.
Yeah,
They've actually been gathering in numbers.
they've got confidence. They're not worried about being seen.
So
They've held this position for more than 5 years.
And they're outwardly trying to advance, so they're not.
Well, don't think of it as complacent. Think of it as fortification.
Well, it's also advertising strength too.
Yeah, they're
it's
confident.
only one, so it
is-
was.
The impression I get is they're confident. They're
Yeah.
really confident about what they're doing.
See if I can see any more.
And they're also attracting more hill giants
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
So
Because the more of them attract, the smarter they get.
Yeah, unless they're food supply.
But
Yeah,
if they
we've got to
have
figure out
clerics-
how to.
Good berries for everyone.
I was looking at good berry, and I'm like, so you can only generate X amount of berries, and that generates X amount of hit points. It's going to take a heck of a lot of berries to actually do significant healing, but I could see if you were stretching it.
That's only a part of it. But the thing is, a good berry also gives you nourishment.
yeah,
So
it destroys
the-
the whole economic system because you can feed 10 people a day for one spell.
Yeah.
And the other thing to keep in mind is every morning you're fully healed.
Yeah.
So as long as they get an 8 hours rest, they recover from all damage.
Well, no, what I was thinking was it would be enough if that you're on like -1 or 0 or 1. It would give you enough until you could rest
But yeah, the
and
other
then
thing is,
heal.
there's a feast spell, isn't there?
Hero's Feast. Yeah.
There are many spells that give you huge boosts.
I was looking at Hero's Feast because
So-
I'm like, that's Calcrix's theme, but I think
As
6th level, I think.
as morning rises, you see the wards around the settlement basically shimmer out with the rays of the sun. Though it is a late morning because you're in the shadow of the mountain.
Okay, that's interesting.
So
does that
are they
mean,
gone
does that
or
mean
just
they're
unseen?
gone or they're just not seen in the sign?
You have no idea. Though Samir and Calcrix would know the wards are still there.
yeah, okay.
Just that they're visible at night.
Yeah, so were you to ask that question, because you asked that question at the exact same time I did, Calcrix will tell you, oh, no, they're still there.
And
I kind of figured that much, but I just thought I'd ask anyway.
Yeah.
just that
Oh,
they don't generate a lot of light on their own,
Mm.
and sunlight is brighter than they are.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
it'll be...
I kind of figured that, but one can hope, right?
Oh, okay.
Logically, it doesn't make sense to have a ward only be up at night.
And the big thing about those wards, undead can't come anywhere near them.
Mm.
They repel undead.
Okay, that's interesting.
I want to learn these wards.
That sounds quite familiar. I know a dwarven city that had that.
Well, if you're
Until a
if
certain
what you're
dwarf
saying is
decided to
that they're,
go, too much angst.
managed by an artifact, then I would say there's only one type of this ward in existence.
There are many types of these wards.
Mm.
Each of the major race settlements have one, except for the humans.
If you
Right.
recall, just before you guys went into the Fey Dark and the Vampire Portal place, the night before, Thala actually cast a very similar spell just around the group and the camp. And that stopped undead from coming in.
It's a similar spell, but the way Mark described this huge one is run by something slightly more powerful.
It's a ward that extends for miles around a settlement.
Yeah, well, as I said, it wasn't the same spell, but when Martin was saying there's similar spells, I'm like, that's an example of
That's an
that kind of a
example
spell.
that, yeah.
So it's a personal version of what they have. Except
Yeah.
their one actually repels undead completely. Whereas Calcrix's one, Thala's one makes it harder on them. As you found out when they shot you with an arrow.
Yeah, challenge accepted, right?
Well, you did challenge them, and it was Faye.
No. It was
Okay,
quite
Well, at least you didn't try to stab a fish.
Mistakes happen all around. As the light creeps through, you see that the river leads all the way up to the giant's den. It looks like a tiny town on the side of the mountain, though you realize that tiny town is definitely a lot further away than it appears to be.
Okay. Is it like... probably extends into the
On the
mountain.
plus side,
By
we're
the
not
looks of
going.
things, it does.
We're not going anywhere near that ward because that doesn't go anywhere near the river, correct?
No, it's the source of the river you've been using is where that settlement is.
Yeah, but that's where we're going to.
We've left the river now, and we're hiking up to the... We're going up to...
Up the mountainside where the ward is, following the river up the mountainside.
Yeah.
We're going to investigate the hill giant, so
Yeah.
we are heading pretty much towards that encampment.
Yeah, but I thought we were going to go by the river, not cross country
We've gone
through
as
the
far
ward.
as we can, I think.
No, we've gone as far as we can on boat. Now we're going on foot.
Yeah, to be honest, I expected to encounter giants well before now, but...
Same here.
Don't wish for it.
No, it's just
You
like
selected.
when we created the boat and everything, we thought that they would probably come down and confront the boat from the way Lady
Penhaligon.
Halligan described it. You know, it gave at least me the impression that if they saw the boat coming upriver, they'd come down and attack it. But they haven't done that, so that's interesting.
Either that or they'll be being watched by familiars.
Okay, so as you're moving up, I'll give each of you a perception roll. And if you have bonuses for sound, you can...
I was going to say, does it listening help?
Is it sound or sight?
It is sound-based.
Did
that
you
was
say
a crappy roll?
Perception.
That's an average roll.
25.
That'd be
Yeah, I got
21.
22.
21 for Zal as well.
And how about Samir?
It's a 19 on the roll.
So, most likely over
Where's my
20.
sheet? So, yeah, 20. 5 or 26.
Okay, so we have well-performing people here, all alert for things going wrong. You hear what you thought was a rumble in the mountainside, worrying about avalanche until you figure out there's words in that rumble.
Yeah.
Oh, they're singing.
And do any of your characters know Jotun?
It doesn't say so on my sheet, but I
I
could
activate
swear
tongues.
that I
think you did at one point.
yeah,
yes.
and it's fallen off. So I'm gonna say yes on the provision that you agree that I.
One of the few that Zal doesn't know, so Zal's also going to expend his spell slot to cast tongues, because this is not something we need to mess around with.
I'm not going to bother with 3 spung spells is a waste. I'll skip.
Well,
Okay.
dragons traditionally have like authority over giants, so I'm like, I knew it was on here at one
So
point.
you hear when you translate and pick up
Tongues.
the words, whether you do it naturally or via spell, that it seems to be a chant to the dawn, giving prayer to the light.
Okay.
And it seems to be by lots of voices, not just
Are we talking giant voices? You know, the deep sound? Yeah, okay.
which
So-
actually makes the ground around you feel like it's vibrating.
So, light and that. So, is that Cheval's god? Isn't he the
Not
day
nec-
bringer
Not
as well?
necessarily. A lot of the energy gods take the prayers of the morning, or the midday, or the evening,
Yeah, I'm just.
but they're based around light.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that sphere happens to be his one as well.
It
You
is
know,
his- it is
you
his
know how
sphere.
some gods are actually bootleggers some other deity as well.
Might not need a dragon at all. We might just need the paladin.
No.
As you think that they might also be how their wards are powered by the people singing.
We can only hear it. We can't see we can't see the group of them. Or
It
anything.
feels like they're probably still about 2 or 3 mile away.
Could
that
they
you're
actually
hearing
be?
this.
Could actually be coming from the settlement? We can see.
You think it's coming from the settlement? You can
Okay.
see.
All right.
Which way's the wind blowing?
It's not.
Which way do you want it to blow?
Downhill.
Given time and opportunity, I'll take note of the
I can
chant.
do that.
I like
Oh
to
no, we don't. Don't
write
cast
it
a
down
spell
in my
to do
journal
that.
so that
No, it's my net ability.
kind of try
I
and
can
remember.
control the weather.
Because everything here could be useful once we encounter them. So yeah, I'm gonna make notes whenever it's feasible.
So you're quickly writing down the words.
Yeah, I'm making notes of what the chant is, so that I don't know if for some reason I'm not getting through. I can maybe repeat the chant so that they kind of see me as friendly. I might end up finding myself talking to a god, but
Better you than me. Currently, I think I've only spoken to one god at the moment.
So it's just
and-
one of the reasons a lot of humans don't have their own racial relics is they don't generally commune together at the same time.
just because it's a pun and it's grown worthy, I've just put, as we continue up the mountain in the morning, we hear a ginormous.
Before
Rumble.
Caltrix does any chanting with them.
Oh no, I'm not doing any chanting. I'm just writing it down so that
okay.
in case for some reason it comes handy later, I've got this chant.
Oh,
Would it be to know what, I guess, type of chanting this is? Like, if it is pertaining to the ward or not? Would that be an arcana or a religion?
It'd be more of a religion role.
Or a religion?
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a good idea.
So I think I could probably have a go at religion. I'm not sure how great it'll be.
I think I've got pretty good religion as well. It's
It would
always
be a
good to know your religion and your
19.
That's
arcana.
just plus, yes, just plus 3 for me for religion, so.
I got
well, it's
plus 8
nothing
for both religion
familiar,
and arcana,
similar
so-
to Cheval's stuff, is it?
And it's an 8 for me from religion, so I don't know what it is.
Sorry, what did you get?
19.
M had 19.
19.
Izzy had
Probably not
8.
quite good enough, but
I guess it's
It's
a roll.
here comes the sun. Do 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 do. Here comes the
Religion
sun.
is plus. Is it plus wisdom?
That's my go on that.
So yeah, I only got 12. So yeah.
And how about you?
But hey,
That's why I started singing "Here Comes the Sun." I got a 6.
it never hurts if you can roll the dice, as long as you
Yeah.
don't get like a 1. It never hurts.
Okay, so
to see what
amongst
you
you
can find
all,
out.
it seems that Zal was the only one who seemed to be following what they were saying, and it seems to be a morning prayer for food.
Ah, well, we're probably the answer to their prayers.
no, we're probably the toothpicks after it, but you know whatever.
No. We have been summoned by their god.
Excuse me, I'm a large creature.
Yes.
I think I'm more than a toothpick.
Yeah, so you'll be good on the spit.
Hors d'oeuvre.
And from what Zal knows, it's very much like produce food and drink
Ah, right.
en masse.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
you
how
can't
they're
starve them
sustaining
out.
Such a large number of people. That's quite clever, actually.
Even now, Calcrix is like all of his studies and that have been towards how to split them up. So she's putting together the fact that this is going to be kind of against them in terms of achieving that goal.
Honestly, I don't think
Because
it's
if they
going to
can
be possible.
produce food en masse via magic, splitting them up to go and get food and things like that is going to be, maybe scaring them. I don't know. Banish them all to different planes.
Okay. And most of you feel as if you're being watched as you're going up the mountainside. So each of you gets to make a sense motive roll.
Sense motive. Okay. That's insight.
Insight,
Okay,
yeah.
so
insight
insight
rate.
is plus.
Oh, I rolled 20 for that.
16.
21.
How do you do the adding up for that insight?
Plus proficiency if you have it, which is 4. Plus a modifier, which most likely wisdom.
So 8, which would be 20, non-natural.
And how about Zal?
25.
Okay, so amongst a lot of you, Zal specifically understands that you're being remotely followed via magic as you're been coming up the mountainside.
By magic.
So what's the view behind us, in front of us,
Above you.
above us?
Calcrix kind of
I'm
assumed.
gonna presume it's that ward also has like scrying or something in it.
Or people who have skill with magic can scry at a distance.
That is also
Calcrix
true.
kind of presumed they're being followed, but even more so now, she's not being silly in any way. She's kind of trying to make herself look like a very serious, very sort of, not necessarily threatening, but not a dragon you would dismiss, if that makes sense. So there's no cookie fights.
You are puffing up your feathers, so to speak.
Yeah, because, she's aware someone's watching and she doesn't want to look like a child dragon playing around. She wants to be taken seriously as an adult. Even if she doesn't feel like it.
You sort of feel as if you had been an invading army, that they would have an answer to you already.
Yeah. But
And everything coming from Ben Halligan has been an invading army.
I'll put the helm on.
I'm just
You're
wondering
doing what?
Yeah, I've got lots of really.
Yeah, but no, the thing is, we don't know about the helm, so
Some of them do. He's told others about it.
Excuse
Yeah.
my inexperience.
I was drunk at the
just wanna
time.
ask you, is there a way here that Calcrix can kind of reach out in a sense of communicating that she wants to talk?
You'd have to basically say out loud. They may be able to see you, they may be able to hear you,
Okay.
but they have some sort of sensor observing you.
Okay.
We could. I don't know what the
I think we've all
non-threatening
got
symbol,
Arcana, haven't we?
like white flag
Ooh,
kind of
spellcasters of
thing
some sort.
is in this setting.
Sorry, what did you say again?
I said, is there any sort of like white flag kind of
Yeah.
symbol or action in this setting?
Yes, not having hands-on weapons.
What?
That is basically the we come in peace universal greeting.
let's
Though
see.
that is harder to do if the weapons you carry require them to be carried in your hands.
What Calcrix might do is she's going to ask for a rest stop with the rest of the group. She's going to take out her coffee set, but she's not offering everyone coffee. She's going to set it up, and then she's going to, as she sets up the coffee set, say in Giant, if she can, I wish to have a meeting with your leaders.
Okay, so we get the barrel out, and you start trying to make coffee to put into the barrel.
It's symbolic in the sense of she's offering a diplomatic sort of invitation to talk.
Okay.
And it might mean we don't have to spend all
I'll
our
make it
time
a-
hiking up this mountain.
Make it an insight roll for Calcrix before Calcrix does that.
Okay, yeah, that would be nice. See, this is why I discuss this stuff first.
I'll
I'll
still get
choose
the
this
barrel
pretty
out.
blue one. I hope it doesn't let me down. Can I use Luck of Chaos?
Sure.
Alright, that's my Luck of Chaos gone for the day. Dice jar for you, but I've got to empty out the candy cans. Let's
Well, would
give
you
a
like
try.
the dice jar so you can start doing that?
Yeah, we should probably get the dice jar down, and if anyone likes candy canes, please help empty the dice jar, because my dice need to learn the consequences of low rolls.
Instead of being sweet.
They must be punished.
Instead of being sweet and nice.
Okay, that's not good either. The dice really are trying to kill me when it actually matters.
So anything I can do to help. So,
I was going to say, I
Insight
don't know
roll.
if anyone can help me on this actually. Although, who had the really good religion?
I think that was Zal.
Zal.
Zal, yeah.
Yeah, it could possibly be that Martin would allow that, but
I actually can't think of
that's
anything.
plus-
I'm actually not well equipped for helping others.
No.
So let's see. You want them to come down here?
No,
So,
I just want
I
to.
just want to know what the roll was.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm trying to figure out the roll, so just give me 2 secs.
I can always just shout out parlay.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what she's doing, but she's trying to do it in a respectful, non-threatening way. If I've added it up right, it's 16.
Mm-hmm.
So, not great, but
That would be enough
Could be
that
worse.
you're in their territory, so you'd most likely have to go to them.
oh, okay, all right,
If you make them come to you, that's a power move.
okay, all right.
That's
Well,
basically saying you're not good enough to
And
receive me. You must be received by me.
yeah, well, I definitely didn't mean it that way. I just meant it as in, don't come and attack us before we get there, basically.
we are
Well,
travelling
as long
openly.
as-
We're
as
not
long
trying
as
to
we're not
hide, and we're not
carrying-
displaying weapons. you
They
know.
haven't attacked you yet, so that is a good sign.
Okay, all right. Well, I won't pull
And
up my
they're aware-
T-set
and they're
coffee
aware
set
of
just
it.
yet.
They're aware of us.
I'm just very cautious and nervous in this situation because
We haven't exactly been hiding our presence, and as Martin said, they haven't attacked us yet, and we were close enough to their wards last night that
You saw
they
them.
could have done so before we noticed them. So
And they've been attacking the humans as soon as they pass the fork in the river. So you pass through territory they defend without them attacking you.
attacking you. Yeah.
But probably because we've got a token human and that's it.
Well, you don't
Yeah.
have a large
Sounds
armed
like
force encroaching on their territory.
Yeah.
Actually, how many humans have we got? Zal's a human.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that
Yeah,
you're
Anton's a human. I was going to say, we've got more than one human. And
And,
you're halfling.
halfling. I'm not human.
Chauvel
Yeah.
looks more like a human, but does look very like a angelic human.
Yeah, because
He's
Janazi
got
are
wings.
human-like, but they're not.
Yeah,
But
no,
they
human.
look like the race they were born to.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
So it looks human.
yeah,
I thought Chauvel's got wings now as well.
Chauvel does have wings, so I said angelic human.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas if Chauvel had been born to dwarves, would look like a dwarf.
That would be funny, but not likely.
Yes, I'm a 6
Fire-
foot
fire
tall,
dwarf
6
thing.
foot
It,
dwarf.
it's kind of
Um,
lucky there's not a
Doesn't have the
baby
height, is it
Calcrix
has
trying to
exactly
go
the same
right
visual
now.
characteristics of its parents.
So the inside joke is when Calcrix was a baby and got confused, she prayed to a god and accidentally changed one of the party members' races and gender, trying to please the companion of said party member. So fortunately she's older now and she doesn't make those sorts of errors.
Hey, it wasn't a mistake, it was quite funny. Because you did make the companion animal happy that had been quite miserable.
But she now understands that Mdrak Sofa probably would have preferred to stay the other race and the other gender.
Okay. So it is a hard climb up the mountainside. Each of you gets to make an athletics check to see how well you cope with it.
You.
No.
Let's try you.
So Samir has been warned
That's a
that flight might get Samir into trouble.
So what is, did you say an athletic roll?
Athletics roll, yes.
Can I
Is that-
use dexterity rather than strength? I'm trying
You
not.
can use dexterity rather than
Or
strength as you're
constitution?
using more coordination instead of brute strength to get over things.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
So
This is going to be bad.
I was going to ask the same thing if I could use constitution or dexterity rather than strength.
You can use
we are
endurance
going
for constitution.
slow and steady.
So that would be 18 for me.
How about Em?
Oops, I've got to roll into the
I got
gun
an
barrel.
11.
Yeah,
You got
get
an
it in
11.
the barrel.
Third time lucky.
Did it work out for you?
No. not
I've got things I can do to actually
Yeah.
improve the number if I need to.
Yes.
So that was Samir got an 18.
21.
21, yep.
I got an 18.
You got an 18.
Yep.
Zal got a 12 or 11.
11.
11. What did Anton get?
10.
10. Okay.
As I said, slow and steady, right?
And what
I can
did
add some
Godric get?
points if I need it.
I got 25, so it looks like I'm the dwarf
Yeah,
of the.
you're the dwarf for the people.
Well, I do have a dwarf artifact this time.
Yep. Big book.
big book. Yeah.
Actually, that would have been the same with
I
my
might
bloody-
call for a short rest halfway up the hill.
Sorry, my side's really weak at the moment, so I'll just have
okay.
to support it. Do the thing.
I'm just looking up optimization.
So I'm carrying a human, am I?
Maybe, yeah, you might be. Or Calcrix might be 18s and
I can do.
What's that
I've got
question?
things I can call on for re-rolls and such if we need it.
Oh, there it is. Oh, don't knock over the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay.
I'm really not good at downsizing clutter in the house. I keep adding things.
Most people are. Most
Sorry.
people do add
I feel
stuff.
like this is necessary. Hopefully I'm not overreaching.
Okay, so Anton and Zal are both one level of fatigue,
Oh, bugger.
which meaning you cannot sprint.
Yeah.
It's not a major penalty, but it was a hard attack up the hill. Those who got under 15 took one level of fatigue. Those who got under 10 took 2.
What kind of a rest will it take to
8 hours rest.
8 hours?
Good berries.
Good berries don't necessarily reduce fatigue.
No, but they make you feel better.
I was going to say, would my coffee, because it's coffee, reduce fatigue?
Not necessarily. They can reduce the effects of fatigue,
Okay.
but don't necessarily reduce the fatigue itself.
Hard to reduce fatigue.
That's why you short
Lesser
rest.
restoration, I believe, can do it,
Yeah.
but it's one per level. And you find yourself moving through the trees out into the open, seeing a large wall before you, with about 100 feet between it and the tree line, and what appears to be a door bigger than most buildings you're seeing, with 2 stone guardians out the front on either side of the door.
Are they giants?
The stone guardians are of giant size, yes.
Are
But
they
are they
actual?
all giants as well?
Hard to tell because it looks like stone knights.
Oh, okay.
Are they actual statues or are they using to guardians? It implies someone is capable of doing
I
something.
would presume it's an actual magical guardian, like the spirit guardian.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't have expected that they had built something this quickly. So it could be magic or it could be something else.
Or it could be golems.
You could go up and
elementals.
investigate them.
Yes, I'd like to investigate, but cautiously, so I don't end up with rocks thrown on my head. I'm going to run out of dice this game, I'm sure of it. Ooh, that's not too bad. Look, investigate. What do I add to a 15?
Are you proficient?
I am not sure for investigate. Because this sheet does not tell me that. There's ones I remember that I'm proficient in.
Okay.
And ones that I don't remember.
So yes.
I think I'd have to look it up online, which I really don't want to touch a digital device right now.
I have a quick look and see what you have on there.
15 is a pretty good roll.
15. I should get at least maybe a plus.
I'm proficient in it. If you need a hand, I can do a help, an aid action if that
You are not
helps.
proficient in investigation.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Because you took proficiency in perception instead.
Okay. Cool. Couldn't make it a perception
Same
roll
here.
instead, I guess. No.
So as you move closer, you do see the heads of both of these stone sentinels follow you.
Well, that answers that question.
Yeah. So they're watching. If no one appears, I'm going to do a quick sketch and have a little bit of a rest after hiking up the mountain.
So as you, so anyone going up to the statues?
Nope.
I'll go with Alfrex.
Calcrick sort of stops away from it, I believe, and takes a sketch.
I think while we intend to go in peacefully, I have
Yeah.
a feeling that we need editing pulse these things.
Well, I thought we'd let people catch their breath since we've only just arrived here, and just have a quick look from a distance at what we can see aside from the stone knights.
Let's see.
So I'm happy not to walk right up to the door, just at this stage. But if other party members want to, just beware to look up.
Okay. So while you're stopping there, I'll give each of you a perception roll in sight of these walls to see if you notice anything new.
And this is visual, is it?
This is visual.
So just looking.
Oh, that was a
D20
crap
didn't
roll.
come out.
D20
Oh,
could caught but cocked.
Put the base of the big the dice roll apart on the wood instead of the table,
Okay.
and it should just roll directly out onto it.
Okay. All right. That's better. Oh no, the other numbers were looking a lot better. That's an 18.
Perception.
Oh, so I am proficient at.
Your provision.
So that's a non-natural 20.
Yodri?
14.
I got 13. I rolled really bad.
Anton?
18. We're good at perception.
And Zal?
Perception and Arcana is what we're good at.
Okay, so most of you are busy staring at these stone Goliaths that seem to be moving and looking at you. Calcrix notices that the walls appear to be made from one sheet of stone unworked.
That's
So like risen up from the earth.
They look as if they have been created via magic.
What I'm trying to get at is it's like, has it been grown from the earth?
Grown, risen, hard to tell the difference.
Okay.
If it's risen, they create space underneath.
I'm still new to this whole earth cult thing.
And while you're out there observing the grand doors open up, they are about 40 feet in height.
right.
So yeah, that's intimidating.
And they are also made of stone.
I am going to make
These
sure.
are hill giants, not stone giants.
So I am going to instruct the group to follow behind me as if they're my retinue. Because the idea is to put across that I'm in charge, and the authority in terms of giants, hopefully, being more, what's the word, open?
Oh well, yeah, they're more respectful of
Yeah,
dragons than they
respectful,
are
yeah.
of
all the rest
humans
of you,
and
unfortunately.
halflings and
Plus, it
flying
also means
angel
that
elves
if
and-
they decide they want to eat you, they have to get through me first. And even if I'm not effective at stopping them, I'm at least large enough to slow them down. But I am specifically going to look up slow because I might literally have to slow them down. So if I can borrow that book.
yeah. You can affect 6 creatures in a 40-foot cube. I've got the spell too.
Yeah.
So, as you're watching, you see a creature riding a warg in full plate armor coming out the
So not a
doorway.
giant.
It's not a giant.
Can I also make sure I've got wind up, having got wind up
Sure,
ready?
you'd basically pick a number of spells based on...
Yep.
Just like tick the spells with your pencils, so
Yep.
you know you've got those spells.
Yeah, I just want to kind of make sure that you know, because wind up will enhance things. And
So I believe you could have 17 spells prepared.
yeah, I'm just looking at any spells that I might have that might make me more approachable and more authoritarian and be received and
Authoritative.
listened to. Yeah, more effective is basically it. But yeah, wind-up is definitely one of them. Okay, so a giant on a warg.
No, not a giant.
No, not
No.
a giant. Right, sorry.
It's not a creature.
An
So-
armoured creature.
An armored humanoid of some sort is on top of a wall coming out towards you.
What size is the warg and the creature?
The warg would be about the size of your drakes,
Okay, yep.
and the creature would be roughly human-sized.
So I'll definitely have my drakes around me. Where's Drazzle? Just out of curiosity.
Drazzle's at the back.
Okay, yeah, figured.
He rarely takes the front.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Alright, just checking.
Okay, so as it comes about 40 feet in front of you and stops and puts up some sort of pennant.
Pennant. Okay.
Do you recognise it?
It doesn't seem like any symbol you've seen before.
Fair enough.
Doesn't happen to be a white
Not
pennant.
that I'm no expert on heraldry.
Because it would be fantastic if we get a C-3PO moment here and I get a chair brought out and, crown. Hopefully they'll try to eat me for dinner though.
Mage hand can't lift you up.
No.
But telekinesis can.
Yeah, I think I actually might. No.
Don't have
Yeah.
telekinesis.
This one you didn't grab.
One I didn't end up getting, yeah. You told me I wouldn't need it.
That's because you can fly.
You were right.
But you wouldn't need
No,
it
I'm
on
kidding.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm joking.
But you can use Arcane Hand on yourself.
Yeah, and I can also use Phantom Dragon, which is what I'm gonna. I think I might end up.
Okay, so as it stops, it raises its helm to show its face, and it seems to be a hobgoblin.
Right.
That's what I was hoping for. I love hobgoblins. Sorry. GM favourite monster. Sorry.
And you can see that its armour is quite intricate.
Quite
So-
intricate. In what way is it?
Well, most of the hobgoblins that we've seen have basically got stuff that they stole from other things.
You have not seen a huge amount of hobgoblins up close,
No.
and you've never seen them as part of a settlement.
No.
I've never seen a hobgoblin before in my life. It's got intricate armour. Intricate in what way? Just stylised designs?
So it reminds you of some of the High Elven armour,
Oh, okay.
but not done in the same way. This looks very practical, as well as designed to be a weapon as well as defensive.
So
Okay.
basically, it's a dwarf has made armor to be on the similar lines of elven.
It doesn't look dwarven.
No, I meant to just say basically because the stuff that I've seen elvish is that it's all nice and pretty, but it's not really functional.
It's functional for the elves. But that's for the elves.
It's a hobgoblin. I know I've seen and spoken with goblins before. And I'm pretty sure I know their language.
Well,
But-
that's basically goblin. They are amongst the most intelligent of the goblinoids that you can meet, and generally they are leaders amongst the goblins.
Yeah, that's right. The last hobgoblin we've won was when we rescued a certain dragon.
Yeah, the goblins were what basically enslaved me when I was a baby, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're no fan of it?
No, not a fan.
But they were mainly goblins. This is a hobgoblin. So, while still a goblinoid, it's basically like hating dwarves for something an elf did.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily blame all of them, but yeah, I'm not particularly a big fan. All right. So it puts out a pennant.
No, it's got a pennant raised.
Yeah, and did Zal was going to talk just then?
I was going to greet it in Goblin, but I'm happy to take your lead if you like.
Well, are you guys happy for me to be
That's all part
the
of
dragon leader?
That's all
as
part of the plan. You're
plan? Yeah.
Where you're written you.
Yeah. So, if you start...
So no, Zal is your what was it?
I'll-
Spokesman.
I was going to say, if you do that, it would be good to introduce yourself as the
Herald.
herald of the great wondrous Calcrix. And my question would be, what kind of charisma and charm statistics do you have? Because I think if you're not very charismatic, you may not be able to do, even though you can speak Goblin, we kind of want to be...
Have a +6 to charisma.
So that sounds like you're really good at it. So it could be a really good way to... a really good strategy.
Charisma is +2 and I have bonus in it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm fantastic, not compared to some of the other stuff, but...
We can always use tongues if we need
Yeah.
to.
You see, my charisma is +6 and I think I've got advantage in performance.
I mean, I kind of look to you and I ask you in Draconic if you would like me to introduce you in Goblin, or you can do it yourself. Because I know you speak it, because I'm pretty sure you taught me.
Yeah. I do speak Goblin. But having a Herald does put across a certain amount of authority, power, status, all those things.
But you don't have a coat of arms.
Who says Calcrix doesn't?
Where is it?
Most of them will have coat of arms for their settlements.
Yeah. Mine is my coffee bean insignia for my coffee beans stores.
Can we get it out?
Do I have...
You haven't invested in a standard
No.
of some sort.
Yeah, I will just have my... Player question, would it be unwise to have my Shield of Bahamut somewhere on me? Visible?
Unknown.
Yeah, okay. Because it's got a dragon on it, doesn't
I
it?
would say any armor and weapon at the moment, if in hand, would be perceived as...
No, just like visible. Because it's a fairly impressive shield.
You visible is probably good enough. It's probably why we haven't been attacked as well, because we have a dragon. So I'll confer with you and if you're happy for me to introduce you and in what way you would like to be introduced.
My other question is are dragons likely to allow a human to represent them in this scenario? Like, culturally, would this be in line with my culture?
It's not a situation that you've encountered before.
And also, think of our group. We are a pretty weird-looking bunch. So we already look weird, and you've got a retinue. So one of the retinue steps forward to as the spokesperson for you as the leader.
Honestly, we look so weird enough. If this was a normal one, it basically would have been a whole heap of dragons just storming in and being dragons. We're currently doing the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And this is completely outside of frame of reference for you.
As long as it doesn't spark something in Calcrix that says, oh, dragons wouldn't deign to allow a human to speak on their behalf. She's more than happy for Zal to represent her as a
You also got to
herald.
remember that Zal still kind of sees you as the, like, thing that needs to be... Not thing, but, creature that needs to be protected because we found you when you were so little, even though you are older now. Zal is still kind of, like, paternal in that kind of sense, like... He wants to look after you.
Yeah,
that's why he told you about his penance in private. Because he felt for you because he felt the same way.
Same way, yeah.
Dangling a little goblin in front of you.
I was going to say, as long as, there's not an instinct or something, or an intuition that says to Calcrix that this would be very un-dragon-like, she's more than happy to have a herald.
Give me a cultural roll.
A cultural roll. So culture... God damn it, I've got to hit flippy pages. Culture comes under... Would it come under wisdom?
It can come under wisdom for how you think it should go. It can come under intelligence for how you remember it.
Okay, yeah.
And it can come under charisma for how you want it to be.
Ooh, charisma for how I want it to be, because it's not great. And do you know if I have proficiency from your little computer thingy up there?
Culture, you are not proficient.
Okay, so it's an 11.
Okay, so from your perspective, I'm sure you can have a spokesperson.
Hopefully this is
You're
not
an
a
important
disaster.
dragon.
Yes. Well, it's just the dragons have got the giants have got their spokesman.
In which case, you're more than welcome to use that.
So, apparently Zal's got the go-ahead to go greet the hobgoblin.
I'll step a little bit forward of the party and introduce Calcrix, how she wanted to be introduced. And I'll start it in Goblin and then maybe repeat it in a few languages, like common.
Well, why don't you try Goblin, and as long as it looks like it understands or give it a chance to respond, you
know
you'd
Jolton?
Be okay. No, she
I
doesn't
do
know
not.
Jolton.
I don't. But I don't. Would I still have tongues active, or would that have dropped off?
Tongues only
already?
lasts an hour.
Yeah, it would have dropped off before you reached here.
Okay, I mean, like, I could read faster, but, I don't. I know a lot of languages, just not Jolton.
Oh, that's another question.
I'll start with Goblin.
Are you at disadvantage because of your level of fatigue?
Only for sprinting.
Yeah,
okay,
she can.
awesome. Just checking.
Cannot sprint is basically it.
So remember, you're going over there,
Okay.
but you're not going to be able to run away as
So
fast.
the flat cat is a natural 20.
Ah, there you go.
And the 8 is a food bowl. Okay,
Okay, so what does Zal? You move up, and he seems to wait for your action.
Well, as I said, my action was introducing Calcrix and...
So what does your grand introduction sound like?
well, it sounds like something in Goblish, but that's why I was conferring with you in Draconic before.
Behold, this is the great Calcrix, I guess.
Or to that effect in Goblin, I guess. As close as I can get how you wanted to be introduced in Goblin, I will try to achieve. This is the grand and mighty Calcrix of the where would you say you were from?
Technically, do I claim my dragon place as my home? What is the dragon's place? Worm's Teeth Mountain?
Worm's Teeth Mountain.
Yeah, so it'd be Worm's Teeth Mountains.
Is that the one that the dwarves went nuclear in it?
The dwarves haven't gone that way. That's far to the north of them.
No, I was trying to work out where we found it.
No, that is way to the north of where you found it.
But yeah, I would be.
Okay, so the great and mighty Calcrix, the did you want to be called a multicolored dragon? I won't be specific with colours, but or just say the great and mighty Calcrix from the
Worm's Teeth Mountains.
Is here to. Did you want to parlay or speak?
She requests an audience with the leadership of the settlement.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will relay all that in Goblin. This is why I was talking to you in Draconic before, so we had this whole thing laid out, and I wasn't stumbling quite as much as I've just done in the last 5 minutes.
Hey, we all have no issues. Okay, so he waits for you to finish, and then greets you, saying his name is I am Graithbone, Herald of Grud.
Griefbone?
Graithbone.
Graithbone.
Herald of who?
Of Grud, the settlement.
Herald of Grud. It's just spelled Grud. Okay.
Grudd.
Okay.
So we understand Grud is the settlement, not a person.
Well, you believe it is a settlement.
Actually, I don't speak Goblin, so I don't actually understand a word.
And we have been observing you along your travels, and see that you don't come to fight. Unlike others of others who come.
Yes, we have come without the intention of shedding blood today, or at all, or just shedding blood.
Just without the intention of shedding blood. Yep. Full stop.
Okay, so do you agree that. Do you come in peace?
Yes.
So,
Yes,
sort
we
of try
do.
to find the right words in Goblin, which don't seem to be easy to get.
Especially peace.
Uh,
No fight.
No fighty
Yeah,
fighty.
yeah,
no
no.
scratchy bitey.
We come in peace. It's the best interpretation of goblin I can get.
Yeah, no fight. No fighting.
I liked it when it rhymed.
yes. The chieftain wishes to speak.
He's chieftain, or
Well, he says the chieftain wishes
Yep.
to speak. He
Maybe
wasn't
speaking
clarifying
through,
further.
maybe speaking through the herald.
We will follow you to your chief.
if so, I will mention to Zal that if they are not comfortable with us entering their settlement, if they would meet with us here but give us a short amount of time to prepare somewhere to sit and converse.
Well, by the sounds of it, he wanted us to follow him.
Yeah, so is that the intention?
You're not sure because the two heralds were talking.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
So I essentially asked. Sorry, what was his name again?
He says his name was Graithbone.
Wraithbone.
Herald
I
of
will ask
Grud.
Wraithbone whether if we follow him to his chief or if his chief is meeting on, I guess, neutral ground.
I just want to make sure we're welcomed into those wards before we hit them.
I presume we have been welcomed in because we haven't been attacked by the wards yet, and we're kind of sitting under it, though.
Yes. You believe you are easily within the wards.
Okay.
So yeah, essentially is do we follow you in?
He just says follow as he closes his helm and starts heading back.
We'll,
I will motion for
You follow.
everyone
the entourage will enter. Yeah. So good horseshoes.
Okay, so
Oh, it's coconuts.
Yeah.
heading in, you see that all around you are buildings that are huge but look tiny for what you'd expect for the occupants. Like single room dwellings.
There'd be single room for a hill giant, you mean?
Single room for a hill giant, yes.
Okay.
Just trying to see if I've got their sizes here. Nope, not on that one. Okay, so
This sewerage here will be a nightmare.
yes, that's assuming they're using sewage.
If they chant to get food every morning, they've probably got a solution for that as well.
Or they could
might.
just toss it off the hilltop.
Well, the stream didn't seem polluted.
No, it didn't.
Okay, so yes, the doorways are at least 20 feet in height.
20 feet?
Yeah,
That's
for,
pretty good.
for the dwellings. Considering the hill giants on average are huge, meaning that they're at least 15 feet in height. There's room enough for them to spare. And as you're walking into the settlement itself, you can see that most of the dwellings you see are grown out of the ground.
So it looks like they're using magic, probably elemental magic?
A lot of earth magic.
Yeah. Kind of makes sense.
They are the lesser giants to stone giants when it comes to earth magic.
So do we get the sense that there's more than one type of giant there?
You wouldn't think there's more than one type of giant here. As you're coming in, you're seeing hundreds of hill giants around.
Okay.
So we can't see the giants
What's
through the
it?
giants.
How are they reacting to us, all these children?
Most of them seem to be looking on you in curiosity.
Curiosity,
And,
okay.
They all look as if they have armor.
It's
their
not
armor looks
hostility, it's not anything like that. It's
You're used to hill giants just wearing barely made rags. out
But I
of
also would have
animal skins.
I'm also surprised that they're not obviously hostile.
And you're looking at these guys with shaped armor made out of stone.
Okay. Maybe I should learn something to take back to the cult of the Black Earth. Hey, these guys are really good with stone.
And you see that there's a whole community of goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbears here supporting them.
Okay.
What are bugbears?
Bugbears are, think of a cross between a bear and a human.
Okay.
And
Ugly
then,
little things.
And then
Well, actually, ugly big things.
Sorry, I was just trying to finish. I can show you a picture when you get back to the table.
They're another race of goblins, bigger.
They are the muscly goblins.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, normally the hobgoblins will be bossing them around.
So not high in intelligence either.
They are generally equal to humans in intelligence.
Oh, okay.
They are not as dumb as they used to be. So that's roughly a picture of them.
Oh. Very interesting creature. It's kind of like a hairy goblin.
Yep. As I said, more of a cross between a bear and a person in appearance.
And for you.
Thank you.
Hopefully that's not too much. Do you want any kind of drinks or anything?
So as you walk through, you end up going through a clearing that has stones that rise up out of the ground. That reminds Calcrix of the stones she saw on the Isle of Dread. The story stones.
Okay. Ooh. There's story stones here. I want to look at those later.
These ones have glyphs that seem to match the wards around the place.
Okay.
And it looks as if this has been dug out of the mountainside. This part of the mountain has been excavated and turned into a settlement.
Not grown like the other parts have.
So I'm seeing a lot of earth magic and earth influences here. And one of the things we particularly need to fight the master is earth magic and earth influences. And then we also have our Black Earth member.
It doesn't know any earth magic.
No, but you know, it's something to just things to keep in mind as we're dealing with these people and we're in this place. That if what we kind of want to do. Sorry,
Can't we just fight the master with rainbows and cuddles?
we could, but
Rainbows and cuddles.
it depends on your version of rainbows and cuddles.
Paladin woke up.
I was going to say the paladin's woken up.
Well, I will...
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to move everyone up into the top, so I'll move players into to actually being here.
So there was evidence of earth magic.
That helps.
More
So yes,
evidence,
Josh, would you like to introduce your character?
They
Hi,
grow
I'm
walls
Josh.
and things out
I
of
have no
the-
energy, so I am the paladin.
They're more than evidence of their
You
death.
are the paladin. Enough face.
Well, the thing is, I'm still walking out of work, so I'll be looking a bit weird screaming paladin just to no one.
Oh, go on, just do it.
Well, no, the thing is, he doesn't have that
Did
curse
this
anymore.
ever stop you before? Question mark.
Yeah, I know, right?
The awkward things I've done in public because I
What
just don't care.
stopped me before is my headset. It always breaks up when I yell too loud.
It does. And so yes, you see these big standing stones with giant glyphs on them. Each stone is bigger than the hill giants you see. And there are 5 of them.
So 5 sets or just
Oh,
5
you
sets?
can recognise them. Any symbols on them?
Giant glyphs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I don't know giant.
on the Isle of Dread, Ka and Io,
Car use stones.
Stones.
I use something
else. So because these are stones, I would recognise this as Ka's influence on these people. And I'm making a note that I want to go back and see if they'll let me spend some time in this circle. But for now, it'll be abrupt to go, I want to stop here.
Well, you believe this may be their racial relic. Meaning that if you approach it, it is equivalent of declaring war.
Well, I will ask them if I'm allowed to appreciate their relic.
You know the elves would not let any other race approach their tree. The dwarves don't like any other. The dragons don't like any other race touching that tree.
So this is not like the story stones in that this is a artifact relic rather than stones that anyone can touch and
You
learn
believe
about
it's
culture.
their racial heritage.
Yeah. Okay.
Other races touching it can damage it.
So no touchy.
I'm impressed. Don't know if that matters at all.
That doesn't look as if this has been created. It looks like it has been here long before the Trollbarons got here.
Okay.
So the idea of trying to take their artifact from them to stop them from
Doesn't
gathering,
look a good option.
it's not going to happen. I think probably the best sort of scenario plan would be we need to convince them to stop attacking everybody else, and then see if they'll join us in our fight against the Master.
I think that is it.
So I was right. There was no way we were going to be moving the artifact.
No.
We didn't even know what it was.
No, I just assumed it'd be something huge because it's giants,
Well, the elves have a tree of life.
which is under siege at the moment.
They have multiple trees of life, but the main one is the parent one is under siege.
Yeah.
So the thing that might get them on our side is hopefully their intelligence is at a level now where we can say if the Master has gone for the Elven relic, he's likely to come for your relic as well. You need to help us beat him before he does that. It's one argument.
Maybe talking about the gods all might be better,
Then you find yourself led to a chain bar in the side of the mountain, not far from the stones, where the hobgoblin says, as night is approaching, you can rest up here and speak to the chief in the morning.
Yep. I'll
sounds
go
fun
with
to
that.
me.
We're unable to let you rest outside, as it will trigger the wards.
This is
Thank
fine.
you.
Thank you for your
fair.
hospitality.
I shouldn't say anything. I'll shut up.
And Anton does find it weird that even this guy talking goblin, you understand perfectly everything he's been saying.
What? I don't speak goblin.
You don't. But you do have the helm on.
Okay.
I thought you didn't have the helm on.
I know I put it on earlier.
Yeah,
When the scrying thing was above, I'll put it on there.
Okay, so it doesn't affect us, or
It's not your racial enemy.
oh, okay. I thought it gave you nightmares of whatever you feared the most, wasn't it?
No. It is the Trolldaran.
Oh, okay, it's only a curse on Trolldarians. Oh, well, fair enough. I thought it was a curse on everyone. Cool.
He just looks intimidating with red glowing eyes.
It's not me normally. Just remember, it's just me underneath.
It makes a good impression though when you're amongst a bunch of giants and goblins and things.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to duck to the bathroom where
Yes.
you guys have been set up to
It's your inner self.
rest.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
We could discuss what we're going to do while Martin's away. I want to go chat to the locals. That's what I want to do.
You want to what?
I want to go chat to the locals.
We may not be allowed to, so when Martin comes back, we'll ask.
We need to stay put, otherwise we will be attacked by the glyphs at night.
But we can ask them if we're allowed to socialise with their people.
Leave our camp.
Yeah.
Well, I think the intention of what he just said was if you leave this sleeping area.
Well, he said you'll be safe here overnight. If you're outside the walls, the glyphs will attack you. So if we're within the things and we're given permission to, like, just sit outside the chamber and hopefully interact with some of the locals, that might be. We can ask. It's not exactly bedtime yet. They might allow us to share dinner with them.
I think he walked away though. He was like, stay here, and then walked away.
Well, as I said, we'll find out from Martin when he comes back if that's something that we're allowed to do.
Maybe I can perform for them.
If we are allowed to interact with them, it might mean that we can tell stories and be friends. We were just discussing whether or not we're allowed to, because Gary Anton was saying it would be good to interact with the, talk to the locals if possible.
I wanted to go mingle with the locals and chat with them.
And Emmy was like, well, he's put us in this chamber and walked away, we may not be able to do that. And I'm like, is there an opportunity to ask just before he leaves the chamber, would we be okay to sit outside the chamber before we go to sleep, so that if people want to talk to us, we have a chance to learn about their culture and their people, and just, pass the night in a friendly manner?
Okay, so he does pause and says, you haven't been given leave of this place by the chieftains, so
we must stay here. Okay.
Yeah.
Staying here then.
Alright, well, that's the answer to your question.
Yeah, I'm not going for a wander.
Zal has the way of things. It never hurts to ask, though. I figure, at worst, you're in exactly the same position you're in before.
Any value in going sneaking out?
The other thing I was being wary about was
if you try to sneak out, Calcrix will try to spot you.
I know.
Okay, so Em, you finish?
I was just saying, Zal was also wary of stepping on their toes, given how quickly they would be likely to perceive us as a threat if we do anything outside of their express instructions.
That's why I thought to ask.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you said, it doesn't hurt to ask, but I think even asking, in Zal's mind, even asking at this point until we've established slightly more friendly relations is probably toe stepping.
But we all know that Calcrix is the kind of dragon to ask. She likes being friends and talking to people.
I know, but Zal will kind of explain his rationale to maybe, so you can see that there's, sometimes that's not the best approach.
They don't seem to have put you in a cage or a prison. They seem to have given you a safe space to rest.
At least you guys can recover your fatigue.
So they're giving you a nice spot to actually stop. You don't feel hot or cold here.
Okay.
I wonder if it's just worth reconsulting my books.
After about half an hour, you see two bugbears carrying a large barrel between them, coming towards you.
Water?
Yeah, water, food,
water,
something.
alcohol, something.
We'll welcome them in.
Mm-hmm.
As not, I presume I'll let one of the non-dragons welcome
I'll
them
step
in.
forward and
Well,
welcome.
If they speak common, I'm happy to be persuasive, but
They bow
Speak
towards
anything, comrade.
Anton and provide the barrel. And in Goblin, which Anton seems to understand while he's got their helmet on, wish the knight the best.
Thank you. And thank you for this gift.
I guess we want to find out what it is. What's it smell like?
Looks like they have provided you with clean water.
Oh, nice.
And they seem to be very deferential towards Anton.
There you go.
Okay, now it's got me.
You want to try and engage them in conversation?
Yeah, I probably can't at the moment, but yeah, I'd like to understand what the hell's going on here.
Zara will kind of stay your hand if you try and engage them if they walk away. Just kind of shake my head and say, not until tomorrow.
Well,
At least wait a day to find out what's happening.
the Goblinoids are, in general, enemies of the Treldarans. But then so is the Black Knight.
I know. We got lots of enemies.
And it could be that these bugbears particularly see Anton, particularly in his helm, as someone they're happy to speak to, so it might be a unique thing to him
Yes.
as well.
Black Knight is the saviour of the goblins.
Yeah, you can discover some of your history.
Yeah. Yes.
So, water, we have our own food, we're all good.
But hey, fresh water is always a nice gift.
It is. Especially those who sort of fatigue, got a level of fatigue.
I was going to say, was that you and Zal?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So as you start to rest up, you start to hear drums in the tunnels further in.
Okay.
So we're in a chamber, but we're not in a tunnel, but we can hear...
You're in the side of the mountain, but this is coming from deeper inside the mountain.
Okay. Right.
This is not a dance beat, I take. This is something more than that.
And you hear more giant voices echoing around.
Is this another prayer for food?
And it seems to be a evening prayer.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll do what I did for the morning prayer, which is take note of the prayer.
And this is one of protection and safety.
I'll copy down as much of it as I can.
So they refresh the glyph at night.
And you can see the 5 standing stones nearby glow brighter than the runes.
I will, if I can see them, I will sketch the standing stones.
And the runes seem to be a reflection of the stones.
Did you want something more?
So, night seems to pass rather uneventfully for you.
Yeah.
Cool. You hear chanting and movement of various people around.
I was going to say, do these guys sleep?
A lot of them.
You're sure that they pretty much have a standing army.
I've always tended to assume that races that have dark vision are probably quite active at night.
A lot of them are more active at night because it's a lot easier to pick out some targets when you have the advantage. Some are particularly active, so those with low light vision are said to be most active between dawn and dusk. And while you're on watch, you do see large groups moving out and about. I'm just trying to get back to Giant. So, as morning comes, you are met by a delegation.
Oh.
Sounds like it'll be interesting.
We have a pitch fish. Okay, so hill giants sort of look like large goblins.
Okay.
in here.
Okay.
But they basically they dwarf Calcrics in height.
Oh, yeah, I presume they do.
Nope.
Did you just say they're 15 feet tall? Yeah. I think I'm what, like 6 or 7 feet tall?
You're about 10 feet.
Oh, okay, 10 feet, yeah.
But these are the smallest of the giants, of the main giant king.
Regardless of that, I won't be like condescending or anything like that, but I'll definitely be confident in my outward demeanour. As in, I'm not at all intimidated by them being larger than me.
Demia's going to walk around with her wings rather arched up to stress her height. Not small.
Not small.
I'm not a
Well,
tiny
I'm
play
8 foot
with.
tall anyway, without the wings. So
As I said, everyone's puffing their feathers.
literally.
What? Because I don't have any
Literally.
feathers.
I was going in some cases literally, in other cases scales.
Oh, no, I do have 8 feather. In the head.
And looking at the delegation, they are dressed in tailored clothing.
Oh, wow.
You're normally used to the hill giants in rags. Or basically poorly stitched clothes that barely cover stuff.
I think the biggest problem we've got is we don't know enough. We don't know enough.
No one knows a lot about these things.
I know.
That's because they got decimated by the dragons.
I know, but
No.
it's hard to
And,
appreciate. when
and
you-
that very much what happened to the halflings happened to them. Except the dwarves did it to the halflings, whereas the dragons did it to the giants.
It's hard
Go
to
ahead,
negotiate when you actually don't know
Izzy?
much about the
Can
inside.
tongues be cast on others?
Yes, it can. It's
I
touch.
believe it can, yes.
Except
I
for
was
the
gonna say,
there's ones in the helm.
if necessary, because I have a plus 13 to just persuasion. So,
Yeah,
just
it's
wondering,
a touch attack.
it just might be good if I'm actually able to communicate in this situation as well.
Could turn out that everyone but the dragon is useful,
I
particularly
can
considering my
cast
dice
tongues on you,
tonight.
Samir, if you want to do that.
Yes, please. Just
Yeah.
before we go into this meeting, I would actually like to be able to. I can also telepathically send messages to our entire party. As for free.
Yeah,
so.
I have telepathic bond as well.
I think, is yours constant or is it has to be cast?
Mine's constant. I have Mystic Rapport. I can just talk to anyone with a shared language within 30 feet. They just can't hear me. They just can't send it back.
What is
Okay, so
telepathic?
he greets you all in the common Thiat. Rather broken.
Return the greeting.
Basically, not as his first language. So some of the words he says seem to not translate well.
Fine.
Is there
And he sounds rather slow.
Who was this speaking again?
The hill giant.
The Hill Giant. Okay.
And which is also a rarity.
I'm thinking, who's our spokesperson?
I think it's me.
Any of you could
I-
take
I-
up that role.
I'm happy to walk in there and support you as well.
He's basically, he says, greetings, I am here to take you to the chieftain.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Please lead the
that.
way.
Yeah.
He then turns around and starts walking slowly, meaning he's quite fast compared to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because I've got the shortest feet here.
Did you want to ride? I'd put you on one of the drakes.
No, it's fine. As long as he doesn't outdo speed of... I'll probably be running if it was speed 50.
No, he's not out doing that. He's taking a slow, steady walk. For him, that's 40 feet.
So I'm sort of running. Speed of 25.
Try to take in as much as we can on the way, because
So as you're walking in, you find that you're in a very large tunnel complex. The roof of it goes up at least 60 feet.
Wow.
And it looks as if it has been carved from the rock. Though whether it's natural or magically carved, hard to tell.
Mm.
And the path you're following is spiraling up. Off to the side seem to be dwellings of more important members of the city, where each of the doors has a rune in Jotun on the outside, where you sort of get various positions of authority, such as rune carver, rune speaker, protector, and various other sort of translations. But you do see that all above through the passageway there seems to be razor wire crisscrossing above the 20 feet mark.
Even though we're
Okay.
in tunnels?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's
It's wide
basically
enough for
things
something to
things
fly
taller
through.
than hill giants will get caught.
Mm.
And flying creatures, maybe.
Yeah, well, Martin just said anything that flies through.
Anything that flies through would most likely hit something sharp enough to cut.
We could definitely have underestimated things. I might be considered the threat of all threats because dragons have subdued the giants and decimated their peoples.
Yeah.
Dragons are also quite skilled polymorphers, aren't they? So it's sort of a...
Okay, so yes, you follow this until you come to a grand chamber that has a large throne, and you see one of the largest hill giants you've ever seen. She stands out at about 25 feet tall.
So it should be ducking because you're hitting the razor wire.
In this area, they don't seem to have it. All the tunnels leading up to it has the wires.
So she can't leave.
Well, she may have other ways of getting around.
So how much bigger than she is than the other ones?
She's basically 10 foot taller than the others.
So she's about
How tall?
25 feet
25
tall.
How
feet
tall was storm giants and
She's
cloud giants?
She's hitting the same mark as some of those.
Yeah, I thought she'd be getting.
He looks to be a hill giant.
I thought you said she.
I said she. I said she looks to be a hill
Oh,
giant.
right, cool, sorry. This is me mishearing. My hearing aid was causing me.
Well, there's probably a shaman.
And her body is covered in runes.
Mm-hmm. Can we recognise any of the rooms, identify them?
The runes are similar to what's on their stones.
Okay.
Shaman's probably a good guess.
Rune shaman.
The minimum what we want is to end the fighting, don't we? The minimum.
Yeah, well, we want to figure out a peace between the humans below and the giants, and we also want them on side for the war if we can. At the very least, we want to try and broker a peace, but technically our goal is actually to just find out why they're there, who's organising them, if they know where the storm giants are.
I think we found who's organising them in front of us.
but we don't know who she is, do we? We just know, you know. So
Okay,
I guess
I'm guessing we're
Redrian
about to
wants
find
more
out.
specific language, information.
So as you're moving in closer, a booming voice comes out from this chieftain, enough to make each of your ears feel like they're bleeding.
Oh, okay.
As she says, I greet you, I am Chief Gar.
Gar.
G-A-R-R?
G-U-H actually, but she says more of Gar.
Like, gah!
Bow down before her. You approach
Yeah,
her.
show deference.
Yeah,
So respect.
respect rather than submission, I think, is the better route.
Yeah.
I will. I presume she's addressing. Is she addressing?
She addresses the whole group.
Whole group, yeah. Do you guys still want to speak for yourselves, or is the plan still for me to represent you?
I think for you to represent us, unless there's a need for us to pipe up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will. Respectful greetings, Chieftain Gach. My name is Calcrix. From obviously a white dragon from the Worm's Teeth Mountains. And these are my companions and advisors. And I'll introduce Zal, my herald and one of my advisors. Cheval, paladin of upstanding and committed reputation, because I'm not doing good with words. Samir, the Rainbow Knight, Anton, our...
You say warlock.
I'll just say our black earthy friend. Our earthy friend.
Well, so she says, that is the name of the current Black Knight.
Yep.
Yep. Is that bad?
Just let it go.
Okay. All right. Yodri. Our halfling. As you can see, we represent many cultures and races and points of view. We come in peace and wish to engage you in talks, hopefully in the name of peace. Or in the name of extending some peace.
Do you represent the human communities?
That's a complicated answer. We represent all cultures in the sense that we have been working against I don't want to say an enemy, an entity who has been trying hard to destroy elven, human, giant, and as a part of that we're trying to unite many cultures and races in the name of trying to push back this evil force so that we could all live more peaceably, and I represent that cause.
Does anyone here represent the humans of this region?
Are we technically
okay.
representing Lady Penhaligon?
I think we are supposed to be, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
we are
so then,
actually for her.
yes. We are also attempting to help mend relations between you and the province covered by the humans here in this region.
Well, if they leave our lands, we will leave them alone.
The borders, the rivers.
We don't know which part of the lands it is.
Yeah, is there no way to share the lands?
They stole it from us.
If you go far back enough in history, everyone's stolen lands and people from
There's
everyone
bringing
at
back
some
night
stage. But I think...
They have encroached on our holy place.
Okay, so where are the boundaries of your holy place? Is it that they are ignorant of them?
Just we're happy if they stay on the other side of the Great River.
Okay. So if they stay on the other side of the Great River...
So
Is
where
that-
are we again?
You are...
Which one is the Great River?
Because you got three great rivers.
Yeah, there's like...
So you're at this point here.
Yep.
Yeah, so if they stay on like the
We're
Penhaligon side,
So we
is that what you're saying?
stay west of the Castellan River.
so they need to stay west on the Castellan River.
Is there any reason why they need to go over that river, particularly?
Well, technically it's all part of Karamikos.
Yes, but if we were to broker a peace that the Lady Pencalican could live with, you know, it would...
So
Is there any essentials on the other side of that river that they're like, but then we will starve type thing? Or do they have sufficient
current
resources on
patrols
their
don't-
side?
Well, there is a major Karamikos installation on that side of the river.
And that's the Castellian
Castellian Cube.
Keep.
okay, so
Okay.
who owns that?
Duke Karamikos.
Okay.
Maybe ask how far north their holy lands extend.
Well, I'm guessing. On the other
And
side
does
of
it
the
extend south as well?
I'm just also thinking because they're hill giants, is it the hill areas that's really what's important to them? I'm just guessing here, clutching at straws.
Well, they are claiming this is their ancestral territory.
Well, they do have a bloody artifact that proves it.
So I'm just trying to figure out how much of that they would. But how much of that area belongs to the keep?
We're currently still in it.
Well, the keep itself is basically protecting the human lands below
Right.
from the rest of the giants that used to live up above it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So if they no longer needed to do that because we brokered peace, would they be willing to move out of that area
You don't know because you haven't.
as a part of the
yeah, but-
treaty?
Well, another thing is it's a different duke.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that different to Lady Penhaligon? I'm presuming
Lady
it is.
Penhaligon serves him,
Yeah, okay.
so she can't broker a deal for anything outside her
And
borders.
we can't broker a deal on behalf of
And
the
that
Duke either.
that red line's her borders.
Yep, that red line is her border.
So,
Although it's the border, how many humans really live in the mountains?
Quite a few because there's trappers, but you're talking in the hundreds, not the thousands.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they could move to trap, you know.
They're
on the
thinly
other side of
spread.
the
They're
river.
not like there's not large settled populations or anything like that.
There are
Okay.
no major settlements unless there's one on the map there.
So if we look at it, then technically our goal is not really to do that treaty. Part of our goal, part of what we can do, is tell the Duke, you know, this is why you've got the problem. It's up to you guys to solve it. I guess what we want to look at is then just focus on why Redrian sent us there. In which case, if everyone's happy, I will say I will pass this information on to the Duke, and if he would like to have further talks with you, to treat with you, to perhaps even consider, for which I'll use all my influence with, shifting his boundaries, would you be willing to treat with him?
She will,
Okay.
as long as he doesn't send an army again.
Okay, so I will pass that message along.
It'd probably be futile.
It probably is, but we're not here to actually make peace for the Duke. We haven't even met the Duke in this sense. We've only met the lady.
Yeah,
and,
the lady's area doesn't actually go up to the river anyway.
No, it does not. Her stuff ends short of it.
yeah, so if we just advise Lady Penhaligon, if she stays on the west side of the river, they won't attack her stuff and then leave the rest to the Duke. Am I right in terms of the group? It's not really our role to be trying to make a treaty on behalf of the Duke we haven't even met.
And if you had met him, you are not his representative.
No,
But
no.
we can certainly carry the message back.
What?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's all we're really beholden to do.
Redrin, what factions does he actually represent, if any?
Redrian does not represent any particular faction. He is a merchant co-op that he is head of. And more of an investigative bureau that looks into things than representing stuff.
So basically, if we start probably a merchant thing, like
So
Yeah.
basically, we've primarily found out the goal of
Yeah.
the giants is that this is their ancestral home.
Yeah.
They've been prevented from
Yep.
congregating for as long as most people can remember because of the dragons. And because of the shenanigans in the world, they've been able to reclaim their ancestral home.
Yeah, we're ticking all the boxes.
Plan on sticking that out.
Yeah. And yeah, so he was like, why have they gathered? We know. Who's organising? We know that now. Where are the storm giants? We might ask her that in the next few minutes. The only other thing that our goal was basically finding out where the storm giants are and seeing if they might be or they'll consider helping us against the master in the coming days, like a mutual sort of. We're trying to get allies to help Redrian and the good gods, for lack of better, the ones that aren't genocidal right now, basically.
Yep, pause for a sec. So, Izzy, sorry if you can't stay around, but thank you for joining as much as you did.
Fortunately, we don't need your plus 13 persuasion right now. Well, so it seems.
Thanks. Sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't stay awake.
Go rest up.
Alright. Bye, everyone.
Good
Bye.
night.
Alright.
I just saw it pop up on my phone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
What about that?
Emmy summarised it really well. Yeah, so we'll pass on that information. Would it be okay to ask a few questions about your people and what happened to like the storm giants and
She does not know what happened to the storm giants because she awoke from slumber after they disappeared.
I see. That's very interesting.
Okay. So
Maybe ask
you
what
were
happened to other
here
giants, 'cause
with
it's not just
when
Storm.
the dragons raised the giants?
She had been put to sleep with amongst the standing stones.
So it might be that the storm giants put her to sleep while the dragons did.
But she does remember the dragons falling.
Caprick's kind of would love to have more information about that, but it's probably not the point of being here.
No,
She fought with the Black Morians against the dragons.
That's interesting.
Though you are not of the same dragons she fought.
No, I'm aware I'm of a different generation of dragons.
Different race, she said.
Yeah, different race of dragons. Sorry,
Much
I used
like
the wrong word.
Much like the dwarves are no longer the same dwarves she fought.
No.
What?
This is one of the reasons.
The dwarves of her time are not the same as the dwarves of this time.
What, they were bigger?
Completely different race.
Yeah, I think Redrin will probably want as much information as possible.
Yeah, so...
because this...
Maybe ask if we can move around the citadel and talk to people and rather than be confined to one area.
Yeah, and you guys are free to ask questions too. I'm fairly sure from how she's talking she doesn't object.
Mm-hmm.
So if Sal or Cheval wanted to ask questions, they're quite...
The other thing is if we can actually get a map of their territory.
I think they might give us like a loose map of their boundaries, but I
Yeah.
don't know if they'll give us a detailed one. But certainly, yes.
Because we'll have to give that to Enhaze.
So
Basically, the way she sort of represents it is it's almost about 4 to 5 hexes in each direction from that central point.
So the central point being...
That's not that much, actually.
This part.
Yeah.
This one here. So
Yeah.
she's not claiming a lot of territory, but she's been aggressively protecting it.
So if we'll
So
draw that map down.
if we could probably set up a trade agreement, that would probably make them quite happy.
Yeah. Well, this is one of the reasons why we'll probably see the Duke and pass the message on that he needs to sort himself out if he wants to stop deaths and hostilities.
So what's Haven?
Haven is a rumoured place that no one really wants to go to because you never leave.
Okay.
Sounds like Hotel California.
Those who walk into that area disappear. It's just known as Haven.
Is that
is nearly in their territory.
What, if anything, do you know of the war with the Master? Are you aware of it?
He has reached out to us, and we have said no. We will not serve another of his kind.
If our
Of his kind.
Warmonger, conqueror, destroyer, despoiler.
Okay, yep.
if our benefactor Redrin, who's helping,
Much
turn-
like the Black Knight over here.
Hmm.
so he's considered a warmonger?
In the past,
Ah, okay.
the Black Knight has been the warmonger, despoiler, destroyer of regions.
Is that something he can change if, like, Anton decided that's not what he wanted the Black Knight to be anymore?
That is uncertain.
I was just curious.
But that's the reputation of the Black Knight.
If our benefactor were to ask for your aid in helping turning aside this tide, in the interests of all peoples, would you be willing to at least talk to him about that?
Yeah, we'll consider it, but
Okay.
they do not wish to travel far from here because the further they get, the more they revert to what they were forced to become.
This is good information for Redrin, to know that they could fight on their front but not far beyond it.
If
Sounds like the hill dwarf's curse.
They got to stay kind of at home, which also says why they're there. If we wanted to learn more of the earth magics and
this was the first Earth Temple.
is there knowledge there that you would be willing to share to help educate us in the ways of the earth?
Looks like you've got a pilgrim.
We did teach Earth to the smaller races before they turned it against us.
I see. So, is that something you're not as willing to do, or is it just something you'll consider on an individual basis?
Someone who proves themselves worthy.
I would like to have a slightly private conversation with her later, but what about Zal and was Cheval driving? Josh driving? Is that what was happening?
I believe he was on his way home.
Okay, cool. Zal, did you want to ask questions?
I mean, I think you've pretty much asked everything that we wanted to know. If there's any more information they want to share with us, apart from being able to defend their territory, and would they be willing, as Georgic said, if Redrin, who specializes in trade, be willing to open up trade?
Yeah, I'll leave that to you guys to talk to her about.
More than likely to trade with non-Traldaran or Thyatis.
Fair enough.
We'll most likely trade with the halflings.
Yeah. So if we were to let the halflings know, and they were to send up a little conclave of people to sort out agreements,
We'll have to work
that would
out
be okay?
what you would actually want to trade and what you can
Well, that's
do
what I
and
mean.
what they
We could
would
just
want.
pass word on to the halflings down on the river and advise them don't go up there with weapons drawn and the whole bit, and they'd be willing to...
Basically, don't go up there being aggressive.
Yeah, and they'd be willing to talk trade, because as Yodri will attest, they are very enthusiastic traders.
Yeah, they're very enthusiastic in many things.
So no one else wants to ask any other questions that they can think of?
Oh, well, I will step forward. My lady chieftain,
Yes, Black Knight.
I wish to assure you that I am not a warlord and I do not wish to bring war to your lands.
Currently, she says.
Well, maybe, yeah.
You always start out that way, she says.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know that.
Calcrix is making a note.
Those who serve the dark forces always end up conquering in their name.
So, which dark forces do you serve? Do you not know yet?
I don't know.
You don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever know.
You could ask her if she can shed any enlightenment on
I reckon.
the curse that you bear.
I reckon you're serving your either your future self or your past self. It's all circular.
This giant has been around in the time of the dragons before. If you're going to ask anyone to shed enlightenment about what's
I've
going
actually
on,
asked and no one's ever actually answered the question.
this would be the person to ask.
That may actually fulfill the prophecy of you becoming the Black Knight fully, if you actually work out whoever your patron is.
Can I remember the shadow lady, the shadow dragon? She actually said why no one will tell me. Can I actually try to remember that? I can't remember what it was.
I believe it is that once you find out, it will become your destiny.
Okay, all right.
That's
I don't really
that's
want to know.
yeah. There was a reason why you shouldn't know.
Some prophecies
I wasn't privy
are
to
told,
that side of
and she
things.
gave you a prophecy of when you find out, you will definitely become their servant.
So you're
without
happy
choice.
in your ignorance.
Okay.
I guess what you do want to know is there any way I can avoid finding out the information I don't want to find out?
Yes.
Well, I want to ask the question of that. My lady chieftain, while we are here, would it be acceptable for us to mingle with your people and talk to your people?
As long as you do not enter their sacred stones.
No, we will not enter the sacred stones. We'll respect the sacred
We
stones.
won't be
the people.
touching them at all.
The portals, are they related to the sacred stones?
They are the sacred stones.
So those are all over the place.
Each of the giant communities has one.
Does that mean there's potential, if we were looking to try and find out what happened to the other races of giants, that we might be able to ask someone to use the portals to help us find them, if that's something that we end up having to pursue?
She has been in contact with most of the other communities.
Okay, yeah. Are they hill giant communities though, or are there other
This
giants?
is the only remaining hill giant community.
Okay.
Yeah, what was it?
So it's just
Fire
the storm
giant,
giants that have disappeared.
and the
She has not spoken to them or the cloud giants in a long time.
Okay,
They were not responding when she awoke.
okay. Because one of the questions was what happened to the storm giants. But
They didn't. The cloud giants were non-responsive. The storm giants do not appear to be contactable.
we can come back with Bridget and see if he wants us to pursue that anymore.
She does not believe they are on the same plane of existence.
My personal, I have a personal request.
Mm-hmm.
I would very much like to learn more about the earth magics and the earth culture. Were I to return at some stage, would I be welcome back to get what education you are willing to give?
She does think for a little bit and says she is willing for you to come and learn, as long as you show you understand what it means.
Yeah, I'm willing to put in the effort required to make sure that I understand fully what I'm learning about and how best to use it, or not.
Unfortunately, as most of the hill giants really are born of the stone, they were the lesser giants born of the stone, and so don't have the intellect of the others.
Would I also be welcome to return to learn more of the earth?
As a Black Knight, you are always welcome.
Might be something we do in our downtime together.
Yeah.
We'll make a little trip
All
here.
the giant communities will welcome you, as you were once one of their leaders.
Right.
Does she know
You're
anything
pretty
about
short
any...
for a giant.
Does she know anything about any of the others here, or is it just because of the Black Knight and the connection to the hill giants?
the
The giants in general.
It seems the Black Knight is part of their culture as well.
Yeah. I don't think halfling piracy is going to be up their aisle.
Yeah.
Well, their version of halfling piracy would to be step on the boat.
Would work.
No, it'll be scary because normally we wouldn't be getting that close.
But you've got a good opportunity here because you're the only ones who can trade between the two. So you can...
Yeah, well, the other thing is, okay, so you've got, this is your holy land with this portal. The fire giants, where's their area? So basically we need to work out...
They say somewhere where there is an active volcano.
That could be anywhere.
She does not know where she can just talk to them.
Didn't we hear about an active volcano in one of the news?
Isle of Dread's got active volcanoes.
Many places have active volcanoes.
Yeah, it's all... They're
You
active.
did hear of one in the Dwarven lands that the dwarves were going to war against.
Yeah, so there could
I
be
thought
fire
it was there
giants
because
there.
of the...
Giants.
No, I thought it was because of a certain dwarf detonating an artifact causes the volcano to wake up as well.
That didn't cause a volcano to awake, that just allowed the undead to come in mass.
Yeah, no, that's kind of not a desired outcome either. Well, there's no more questions. People could possibly go and
I can't really think of it.
excuse ourselves and mingle with the peoples.
Yeah.
And if that happens, I might try and do some trade with some of the stone giants there, because I love trade, and I'm presuming stone giants like cookies, so I could possibly trade cookies for lots of things.
Yeah, unfortunately your cookies would basically be like hundreds of thousands.
Well, I have enlarge and reduce, so I can do a ritual and just enlarge a bunch of cookies
Well, I've
to
got
giant size.
I've got that magical item that is able to give me a large amount of alcohol.
Yeah, no, I don't think we should be getting them drunk.
Okay, so she gives you the leave to move around.
Yep.
One of the places you come across quite early is a crafting room where you see a group of about 20-foot tall hill giants working away on stone armor that reminds you of the sentinels out front of the door.
Oh, wow. That looks pretty cool. I will do some sketches and...
So you think the ones out the front were actually hill giants inside armor?
Yep. So it's a good thing we didn't go and touch them. They might have stomped on us.
I would have done that if they were golems as well.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just that means that they're actually smarter than golems.
So when I grow up, I can probably come back and see whether or not they'll make me some armor.
And by the looks of things, all their stone is reinforced with runes.
Yep.
As their armor's all designed about using their language.
So
I
are they
reckon
like
the
giant
dwarves
runes or
will
earth
gain-
runes?
I hate you.
Well, you believe that the dwarven belief system was based around the giant culture.
Yeah, especially if they're heavily involved in runes. Because this would actually dwarf the dwarven runes in power.
Pun intended?
They don't look as powerful as the dwarven runes because they're not as refined.
Okay, so
They were definitely not. The dwarven runes are definitely a generation newer than these, but they are more primal in nature.
I would like to mingle a lot with the lesser peoples here. Find out. I want to talk to people. Find out. Talk to the old common people, the goblins and such. Why they're here, what they do, what their life's like. Try to understand it.
Well, you find that the goblins are mostly from the Dimrak forest.
well, that's a long way for them to move up.
Basically up in the mountains up here. They've been coming here because they've felt the call of the giants.
Also
Because
safety.
That they are a what you'd probably call racial servants.
Yeah, servitors of, yeah, okay.
And it's probably the less intelligent goblins and bugbears have been coming, and the hobgoblins have chosen to come here.
Okay. And, you know, insofar as this is a meaningful concept for goblins and such, but, you know, are they happy with being here?
Well, they get food, they get protection, they
It's a good
occasionally
deal.
get stepped on.
It's a good deal. Okay.
In a way, it's kind of like dogs. They're like, you feed me, you give me warm places to sleep. I'm happy with this relationship.
They're not enslaved.
Yeah.
So who's to the east?
To the east is the Empire of Thyatus.
Yeah.
So the Grand Duchy of Karamikos is part of that empire. So it's a border between the duchy and the empire itself.
And she said specifically they won't trade with Thyatans.
Or Treladarans, but they will trade with halflings. I'd also like to find out now it might be, this is probably a longer shot about, they talked about the first Earth Temple. She talked about the first Earth Temple.
They had founded their temple with those stones from as a gift from a barely remembered teacher.
Okay. I'm just thinking about this, the Black Earth cult.
Yeah,
I
but
was going to say.
we need to find out if it actually happens to be the same deity.
Well, look, I know so little about Earth temples and Earth cult. Any information's more than I had before.
So they have wandered the lands for many generations, and this was the first place of learning for their people.
Okay.
Seems to be a common thing with the these cults.
All right. You've
And-
talked to the common people?
Yeah, with the timing of it, you have no idea how old this place actually is.
Of course, I have no idea.
That's why we need to work out get some history of that, so Redring can work out how old the place is.
Yeah. That's I guess part of what we'll.
So you do gather that it's at least 3,000 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've essentially answered all the questions except for where the storm giants went. But we can at least give Regine that lead of the chief here woke up and they're all gone.
And you think that because she woke up, they started to congregate here?
Yeah.
So it wasn't so much that...
Emmy had a good
Okay.
summary for us.
Oh, it's okay. You need two pieces of the puzzle. You need both the... I'm not sure she's a chieftain, but what actually that really means, because she seems more than a chieftain.
She called herself Chief Gar.
Chief Gar. That was
Yeah.
that was a name. Was
Chief
that?
Gar.
Gar. Was that a title? I thought it was a name.
Hard to tell.
Name Gar is her name as far as we could tell,
Yeah.
and she called herself Chieftain Gar.
Yeah.
How did you get those roots?
How did you get the root?
Yeah.
They were taught to her.
So what, you developed them, or you ruined yourself, or...
Yeah, part of becoming chieftain.
Okay.
So I gather it happened over a term of time.
Did it hurt?
She sort of looks at you in confusion at your words.
Did it cause pain?
Again, looks at confusion at your words.
Part of the ritual, so inconsequential in terms of her goals. Maybe.
Either that, or she might like pain.
Yeah. She's a hill giant. Maybe they don't have a concept of pain.
No, everything's got a concept of pain of some sort.
Some things, pain is part of their
Yeah.
life, so they don't understand it.
Yeah.
If there's no pain, that's like, what does that mean?
I've forgotten what it's like to not feel pain. I just really don't remember. I know there was a body I once had, but yeah, no concept
But yes,
of that anymore.
it seems that only a couple of them have runes on them, and it seems to be only the older ones do.
Yep. Fair enough.
And from what you can gather, the ones that have runes used to be chieftains of other tribes. And so she's become chieftain of all the tribes.
It's chiefs.
Chief of all the chiefs.
Yeah, chief of chiefs.
Mm.
Big chief, head chief.
Mm.
She'll get along with Draknema.
And the others have just become leaders, not chieftains.
But otherwise, it's like more like a normal's a word. It's not the kind of community you would expect of Hill Giants. This is more like a human community on a giant scale.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's like a prehistoric society where the wisest one tells the others what to do because they've been around longer. And because they've been around longer, they've survived. So if they can survive, everyone follows what the survivor tells them to do.
It's kind of like the oldest one leads because they outlasted all the others. So, you know, survival of the fittest type thing.
I'm not a big fan of leaders, but this one seems to get a good one.
I'm sorry, Mum. I need to go to bed.
All good, Josh. You rest up.
Sorry. Sorry if I stay longer.
Oh, we understand. Thank you for joining us at least, because it's nice to hear your voice.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there wasn't anything Chevelle wanted to ask.
No. Chevelle's thought process is bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
I was gonna say I'm starting to fade as well because we've been up since like 6 this morning with Mia. So.
So you're going to head off as well, Em? Is that what
Yeah, I
you're
think
saying?
she's saying that too.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
on
I
for a
think
couple
we're probably
minutes,
winding
but
up soon too.
This might be a good, given that we've asked all our questions, a good time to wrap up anyway.
Well, the only thing I was going to do is ask if I'm able to use Redrin's staff, or ask Chevelle or Zal to use Redrin's staff to communicate all of this stuff to Redrin, and ask him if he wants us to stay in the area or do anything else before we leave.
Maybe you can't set up a portal here so it can just come in.
I think that would be something we have to ask the chief if we can use.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It is a relic.
The only thing I was going to do was ask the chief before we finished off tonight, can we use our staff, even if we have to go outside of the thing or down the hill a bit, and contact Redrin before we leave, just in case there's other things he wants us to investigate or do before we go back.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, talking to the one of the others, because you'd left the chief.
Yeah.
They would say that your communications might not work inside their wards.
Yeah.
And it would be safer to use it down the mountainside.
Yeah.
Closer to where you left your vehicle.
Boat. So we'll have to leave here before we do that. Because I did want to ask the chieftain what she could tell me about the dragons before that she knew of, but I didn't want to kind of drag down the rest of the game and the group with those details.
Well, she will describe them more as vicious creatures who had no speech or recognizable intellect. Describes them far more like wyvern, but with the same sort of layout you have, structure. But basically a plague of the skies, as she refers to them.
Okay, yeah.
Am I understanding this correctly? Is it that somehow the dragons and others took the intellect and powers of the giants for their own? Is that what the story is here?
I'm not sure.
She does not know, because around the time of the dragons disappearing was where she was put to sleep.
Has she had much interaction with the new race of dragons?
She has not.
Okay, cool. That's it.
You're the first dragon she's met.
Right. There's more than one, isn't there?
And you're the only dragon she's met that has not killed or maimed everything around her.
I'm probably very different from a lot of my kind, but don't assume that all of my kind are like that.
No. She's not met a dragon who would converse with her.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe she should assume that I'm an exception rather than, one of many exceptions. It's something she would Calcrix would prefer to change, and she's kind of a little bit ashamed because she's like, why the hell do you have all of the longevity of life and the power of being a dragon and you don't have this capacity for compassion? But yeah.
Well, the world was more brutal around then. Most
Yes.
of the creatures and peoples fought
Fair.
to survive, not to grow, and the giants was the first civilization.
Is it worthwhile Calcrix also giving her a little bit of information about the primal... is it the
Primal Titan.
primal titans and
Right,
about them being awoken and
Maybe
how
she knows
that
about
might
them.
affect the world?
She has heard stories of the Primal Titans
Mm.
and how a great god of the giants help send them to sleep, but does not know the details of it because it is folklore to her.
Well, this is more Calcrix kind of warning her that the primal titans are awoken right now, and so that has changed the world beyond her borders in many ways, and it's more just you should be aware of this, it could affect you.
Maybe it will herald the return of the storm giants.
It could well do.
Or it could be the reason why the storm giants left.
They left long before.
Yeah. It was just more trying to give her something in return for the knowledge she's given us, which is, you know, the sun's doing strange things, the tide's doing strange things, and this is why. So, because she doesn't go far from her home, she might not be able to get confirmation of these kind of things. As you said, it's rumours, so Calcrix is giving her that information of, I know this, you know, I'm a reliable source of information for these things happening, and this information might be of help to you if it somehow complicates your life in some way.
But she does say she actually woke up about 10 years ago.
Okay.
So she has not been active that long in this world.
Yep. Probably even all the more important why she has all that.
Which is interesting that she's
information.
learnt the local language.
Yeah. And that they've accomplished a lot for 10
Magic
years.
can do weird shit.
And she's covered in rune. Has the runes been in the last 10 years?
The runes were before she went to sleep.
Okay, alright, well that makes more sense, because it sounds like that'd be much longer endeavour.
The runes represent the history of her people.
My lady chieftain, you are much older than all of us. You can remember times long before the rest of us were born. Why is there so much conflict between peoples? Why is there always warfare? Why is it always this group taking on that group? That's the whole
Because the
story.
gods be crazy.
I was going to say, I don't know that there's an
She
easy
says
answer
that
to
from her knowledge, those that have not want, and those that have don't want to share.
Okay, as simple as lack of sharing.
The giants used to share until they were crushed.
Yeah.
But when they shared, they had the capacity to challenge all other races.
They essentially got backstabbed by the sounds of it.
Pretty much. Yeah, when you can challenge, when you can work with people who can take down dragons on their own. And imagine a bestial dragon that's all about combat.
Hopefully, you know, these new generations of people and races have a different outcome to the past.
Though she does say the humans of this time seem to be backwards compared to those of her time.
Is it just humans or other races as well?
Well, the humans in particular had power beyond her imagination. Could move mountains with their technology.
Okay.
Yeah, but didn't they?
She knew the the high science people of Blackpool.
So that's very interesting because weren't they very technologically focused?
Didn't they get?
They were so technologically focused they destroyed the dragons.
So she was happy to kind of destroy the dragons along with the Blackmorians.
Well,
But it sounds
at the moment,
like
the
they
dragons
weren't
sound
very
like
pleasant.
big pests.
Yeah, I was like, sounds like they weren't very pleasant. So yeah.
They were apex predators.
Yeah. Okay. Before we leave, I would like to, if she's interested in it, gift her some seedlings for coffee, and some coffee if she thinks that that's something that would
What
be
you need
useful
to do
to
is
community.
Well, she gives you some herbal teas of
Oh,
the giants.
yeah. Calcrix is very pleased to.
yeah, what you need to do is work out how to get a normal coffee seed into a giant coffee seed.
I do have the enlarged, but I
No,
don't
no,
know
no,
how, if that would last long enough for.
They also have magic that can turn a standard drink into a giant drink.
This is why I gave her seedlings as well as beans, because the seedlings means that they want to plant them
Well,
and
it's strength
grow
as
their
well.
own. They can without
It
relying.
retains the strength of the item.
And if you ever want to contact her for help, Calcrix kind of points to the logo. It's like this is how you find me or my people, and I will come to help if you ever need it.
She says she has seen you. She can now call you across nations.
Nations. Well, yeah, yes. If I happen to be fighting in a war, I may not be able to come straight away, but otherwise, yes.
Her gift is sight.
Sight, yeah. So she's seeing me now, so she can contact me from.
Yeah, but I'm going nations, which is actually a big.
Yeah.
She gathered all her people here that she could find.
She's very powerful in that sense, but I presume that her extraordinariness is what sets her apart and makes her appropriate for this position of leadership.
Well, the fact is, it'd be suicidal for anybody to attack you. The fact is, you'd be able to see them coming.
What I find interesting
And
is
they'd
that
be able to counteract it.
Anton's character, who is the Black Knight, is kind of, he's like, why is
I'm
all
not
this
the-
war?
I'm
And then
not-
he's also, you know,
I'm not the Black Knight. I just happen to have,
the Black Knight's helm.
yeah, not through choice
My
either.
helmet doesn't
Are you
just
sure you're
define
not the
who
Black
I
Knight?
am.
That's the question you need to ask yourself.
Maybe you suffered amnesia.
Denial is the first reaction of a lot of things.
I think it's not until you get the breastplate, then the greaves, and then,
Yeah.
then you
Yeah,
say,
right, okay.
But
Well,
it's not until you choose to actively be it, are you it? Until you choose to actively be it, you can deny it all you like.
Well, I was going to say, he's fairly anti-war, so
And
safe for the moment.
And it might be the Black Knight started out being anti-war and then had to fight to stop wars and ended up becoming a major general to stop other things happening.
well, you know, when wars are fought, it's not the powerful die; it's the ordinary folk.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why you're driven to go and seek out the ordinary
And
folk and spend
from
time
what
among
you
them.
hear amongst the hobgoblins, the Black Knight always started out as a nobody.
Well, I'm certainly in that box.
Trying to stay there.
They never started out as a hero or anti-hero. They started out off as just an ordinary person wanting to make a difference.
This is sounding a lot. This is sounding really close. This is cutting to the bone.
It
And
is.
someone who sees oppression and wants to make a difference.
Yep.
So it's like the anti-hero.
You
Okay.
just see a little green gremlin starting to quote Yoda. Once you're cast down the dark side, forever hold your destiny.
That's another absolute the Jedi's don't deal in.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
So yes, you have a chance of being the person that your people fear the most, which may save your people.
I think what we really need to do is come across some really bad people so we can just get some thumping out. But right now we're all amongst all the good people, so
yeah,
Um,
but
No, we'll be getting thumped.
In this case, yes, that's what I
From
mean.
the Penhaligon people, the giants are evil. From the giants, the Penhaligon people are evil.
Yeah.
I know. This is the bit that
That they both dislike the others.
Well,
Yeah, that's
we
why
can
they
only
need
pass
a
on the
go-between.
message. If they don't listen to what we have to say about not crossing the river, etc., and they continue to get their asses kicked, that's their decision and their fault, not ours.
Well, we can...
We,
I had
No,
the
well, the
impression
thing
that
is
they would like not to, they'd like not to have any more.
I think
Well,
Lady
no, if we-
Penhaligon would.
Well, no, if we
like
tell
to.
the
The
Penhaligon-
Duke might be a different
Yeah,
story.
we can tell Penhaligon, they're not going to come across, because if you stay here, they're
Yeah,
not going to...
if you don't cross the river, you'll be
it's
fine.
boss is going to say, yeah, you need to go over here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think we'd also pass on the message. It's probably not a good idea to attack the giants because they're a lot tougher than they were once.
And you'd believe that most of the attacks they're suffering are reprisals,
Yeah.
not just outright attacks.
Yeah.
Which is why it hasn't been a complete mass slaughter of the inhabitants. Looking at what they have, you're not sure there's any standard military that could take on their
Well, not
main
anymore.
guardians.
Well, not anymore, because air superiority is now gone.
And while you're walking around, you see that they do have siege weaponry inside, designed and built mostly by the hobgoblins and goblins, but designed at hill giant size.
Yeah. And they're making stone armour, for Christ's sake.
Well, the other thing is, they can also recruit all the goblins and that too. There's your smaller force.
And while they might distract you, they could send the goblins in from the side.
Especially with the yeah.
Peace is the best option.
So we're wrapping up somewhere
We
here?
can wrap up there for the night. So Em can get some sleep as well.
Yeah, I'm really burning and tired too.
But hey, you've now figured out why the giants are congregating. Is
Oh.
you believe that the whoever was the center of each community has awoken from enforced slumber.
Which is-
And unfortunately, the only people who know about that are not here anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome.
And you're not sure if it was the dragons who enforced the slumber or the immortals themselves. But since the giants have gone to sleep, the humans have lost all their science.
You finished?
And that the other races have not really advanced a huge amount. Except the dwarves have completely changed since then. And the fact she knows that they've completely changed is an interesting point.
And we have to return. We need to return to Penhaligon. We also need to report to Redram.
And I think my merchant stuff's in the wrong.
Well, they were willing to throw down with whoever came if they started a fight.
Oh yeah, that. No, I'm just talking about my merchant is like way down south.
Well, you've got a good trade opportunity here.
Right, when you look at the scope of things, most of the hill giants were in the Cruff lowlands previously, so that they've moved all the way over to here is a big point, and many of them would have died in that migration. Because the humans would basically attack on sight, as would the elves.
Yeah.
But a hill giant moving through is not a nice thing when they're away from their relic.
Yeah.
You believe they've been cursed when they're not near it.
Oh, okay. There's a curse.
Yeah, it's the same thing as the hill dwarves.
Basically, you're sure that another race got jealous and cursed them. Whereas the hill dwarves of the northern reaches are descendants of a completely different race of dwarves. They can't actually have kids with the normal race of dwarves
Okay.
because they're not the same species.
Right.
That's why Jeff is not related to the crazy other half of the party who happens to be all related.
Okay, so I'll put it on end credits.
So that red's the capital, is it?
The red is the capital Specularum.
Yep, so we now need to put a red dot up
Specularum is
where we are, because that's the capital of the Hill Giants.
There's also a kingdom of dragons that overlays everything as well.
But they're inactive at the moment, aren't they?
Mostly.
Yeah.
Though that entire region around the estate of Penhaligon is a specific dragon's domain.
Okay.
He hasn't been seen since the dragons migrated north.
What do we know about that dragon? Name, colour?
Red dragon,
Okay.
and large enough that he fits all the legends of ancient dragons.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so basically if he starts flying around, we know about it.
He's big enough to see from about
He's a flying mountain.
8 miles away.
Yeah, so he's a flying mountain. So if he crashes into a mountain, he starts another mountain range.
So end credits then?